What's up, everyone? Welcome to Flagrant, and today that we have Ali Siddiq in the building. GOAT storyteller, one of the best comedians out there. You've seen him on Def Comedy Jam and his Domino Effect specials, 4 of them. This is unprecedented, the amount of comedy he's actually put out for free for all of you on the internet. Garnered over 35 million views, rave reviews on YouTube. Ali turned his tough life into comedy gold. He's raw, he's real, relentless, no gimmicks, just pure, hilarious storytelling. I want to dive in because I feel like what you're experiencing was a lot of us have experienced when we put stuff on YouTube is like, you're getting big views. You're selling out these huge fucking venues, but there's also this thing where it's like, is it just in our little bubble? Have you felt that?
Yeah, I think I'm in a little bubble. I don't think it's popped the ceiling yet.
But then you look at the views, you're like, if 100 million people have watched this, what ceiling?
I'm waiting on India.
I think with Ali Siddiq, you might get Pakistan first.
I think white people think I'm Indian.
No way.
I just recently did Boston.
Hold on.
Can I tell you something crazy? When I was a kid, white people couldn't understand that they thought I was black. When they were racist toward me, it would be go back to Africa. They would call me the N-word, and I would be like, I think I'm supposed to be offended.
It happens.
Wait, what happened in Boston?
So this is when I hate to put them out there, but because she rectified it, but I was at Boston Laughs, right?
Yeah.
And 2 white guys open for me, and I walk out, and this white dude was like, I thought he was Indian, and he just turned his back to the stage. I was like, what?
How much does this white guy love Indians? What specific racism?
I think he was more offended.
I think he hates black people.
I would have never came if I knew he was black. Indian, yes, but black, no.
Yeah.
I like how Buzz is like just getting a little less racist. It's like they've accepted the color spectrum a little bit.
Yeah, really. And you thought that they would get over it with Bill Russell bringing so many championships. You know,
Bro,
championships like cure racism a lot.
I've thought about this too. It's like there might have been a period during Bill Russell's reign because it's not like he didn't just win them as a player.
He won them as a coach.
And like I'm wondering what is happening to like the racist people in Boston at that time when he wins 9 as a player, and then they're going to bestow like the most important position for the franchise that they care about. Go.
The coach. This is my thing against racist black men who argue about Jordan. Because I think this is my problem with the whole Bill Russell thing.
Okay.
So if somebody said who's one of the greatest coaches of all time, they're going to mention Red Auerbach. They're not going to say, oh, it was the era. He didn't enough. No, they're just going to mention. They're just going to mention him.
This is a great. Okay.
So, but when it gets to Bill Russell, oh, he didn't play against nobody. He played against fucking everybody in his era.
Wilt.
He played against Wilt and everybody else.
Yeah.
So, but then when he left, when Red Auerbach left, he became the coach.
Yep.
And he played
and coach.
Jordan, there's no way Jordan could have played and coached. It's no way.
Yeah. And played 36 holes of golf. Impossible.
He had to cut 10 players on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, it's just me and Scotty. Everybody else sit down. It's amazing how they just try to diminish what he did in basketball. He has 11 championships.
We didn't see it.
I wonder if part of it is like, that was a time, I think, in the NBA. My dad would tell me these stories. So Bill Russell, my dad he was the first person he ever saw dunk a basketball. It was like during a layup lines. And he was like, I just saw him jump up there, dunk. He goes, to me, Bill Russell's the best player that he ever saw play because he completely changed the game, even defensively.
Yeah.
But this was a time where my dad would tell me that like when the Knicks were playing at the same time, the what is it with clowns and stuff? What is that called?
Circus?
The circus. When the circus was in town.
What did they call it? Clowns?
I forgot. I almost called it the carnival. I forgot the name of that shit. Anyway.
I'm about to call it the barbershop.
He told me the Knicks. I was about to say. No, he told me the Knicks would be bumped out of the Garden.
For the circus?
I can believe it.
So this is at a time where, like, I guess basketball...
The finals are on tape delay, apparently.
Yeah.
Ringling Brothers was huge.
Yo, I mean, come on, bro.
We might need to see the circus.
Hey, we're having a circus here. You know, a little game outside
Can you tame an
Rutgers.
elephant or no?
weird.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, that was kind of wild times.
Bill Russell dude that has a picture where he's just wearing all the rings.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's an iconic picture.
More rings and fingers.
Player and coach.
Yeah, unreal.
Son,
At a time where they weren't even letting him, I think in certain cities, stay in the same hotel
Yeah.
Yep.
as the white players.
And he did all this in Chucks.
He's playing in those.
I got a bunion from
He's
walking
playing
to work.
the low top joint.
That's why they had to dribble like this. Because I don't think there was only a crossover.
You know the craziest Bill Russell stat? If I think it's 14-0 in Game 7s. He never lost a Game 7.
Yeah, he's just...
Game 7, Bill Russell, you win. That's it. There's nobody else I can think of that ever had that.
Yeah, it's just... were you a big hoop fan growing up?
Always.
Really?
Basketball, yeah, definitely. For sure.
But what was your team? Obviously Rockets, but like...
Obviously wrong.
What do you mean?
No, it wasn't the Rockets. Who was it?
Wait, you were a Knicks fan?
Always.
Is your family originally from New York?
No, you ever seen Cowboy fans? They all over the world, right?
I'm from Dallas.
It's like y'all restrict.
Why would anybody root for the Knicks?
Exactly. That's what we're trying to figure out.
They don't understand.
You gotta
They had to do
understand,
this.
man. Look who played for the Knicks. That's who's on TV. You root for the people
Now
that's
you're
on
okay,
TV.
okay.
Like, remember we were all Braves fans for no reason? And it was just because they were on TV.
Yeah.
He was a circus fan when he was growing up.
I know that shit. I was hard, bro.
And then Patrick Ewing went to the Knicks. You know, you watch Georgetown, and then your player get drafted to the Knicks. Like, oh, for sure.
But as a Dallas guy, Houston people are so fucking annoyingly loyal.
You a Dallas guy?
He's born and raised in Dallas.
I heard
yeah.
you love the Cowboys. Like, what is
I
it?
fucking hate that.
I'm with you, dude.
I always hated the Cowboys.
No, I loved them until about 2 years
ago. If
ago.
they would have drafted Jerry Rice, I still wouldn't have been fucking with the Cowboys. I was like, Jerry's good, but fuck the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite football player, Jerry and Dion.
Yeah, of course.
And I make a strong argument for Dion being one of the greatest, being damn near the greatest player over LT. And I'm a Giants fan, but over LT.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
What? Okay, so what is? I think we have to accept that LT at his prime. I think was
At
the
high
most.
cocaine for sure.
Yo, why do we diminish like the value of cocaine in the excitement of the sport? Because remember in like the 80s when the basketball players were just fist fighting on the court?
Yeah, I thought all of them was high.
They were.
They were fighting their ass off.
Yeah.
And Olajuwon is when I remember when Olajuwon was still fighting in his era before Olajuwon. It's like nobody wanted to fight the Dream. Like the Dream was like,
You heard the
what?
Vernon Maxwell story?
Have you heard Vernon talk about?
I know Max.
Oh, really?
Man, and me and Max used to be in the club back in the day. But when he said about Olajuwon slapping him, I was like, yeah. Yeah, the dream was like, hey man, stop all that fat mouthing, bro.
Yeah.
Like in his broken Nigerian language, but I've been at the mosque with him.
At the where?
At the mosque, you know, because he's Muslim.
Oh yeah, of course.
So his brothers are bigger than him. It's crazy how big his brothers are.
Okay.
But to be next to him in prayer,
It's a big carpet. That's
it's like, yo, man, I'm gonna go to the back because this thing, like I can't even concentrate. I'm like,
I imagine being right behind those feet. Oh,
come
on.
man, like pray in the back, bro. It's crazy how big he is.
So wait, were you in Houston going to the mosque while he was playing for the team?
Yeah.
Really? So he
yeah,
would
he
just
got
go
drafted
to like,
in '84.
But, he
But
would just,
I was not there. I was locked up in 80. That's the thing about I always go back to like I missed and I hate it too. Like people be talking to me about years.
Oh,
that
and you're locked up during
that
Houston's rings.
And let me tell you, the terrible thing about this, they playing the Knicks.
Oh, that's right.
And I am
painful
the
memory for all of you
I'm
fucking
the
losers.
only one in a Texas prison rooting for the Knicks. And so
Oh, you just want your life to be hard, bro.
so when the Knicks lose, it's like everybody in the cafeteria was waiting. It's like they wasn't even eating. They were just as soon as I came in. Like, shit. And then I remember when San Antonio was playing the Knicks. I had on a Knick jersey. I'm performing at this club downtown, and I'm with Rodney Winfield. He's a legend.
Okay.
Right? And this how he talk. Rodney was like, God damn, why don't you just take off the goddamn jersey? Because I'm walking downtown and everybody fucking with me because the Knicks lost to San Antonio. He was like, yeah, he said, man, just take off the jersey, bro, because I can't fight with you. I'm old.
He's looking out for himself. He's not even worried about you.
Yeah.
Yo, okay. I've seen like so many videos. You can obviously tell these great stories. I think there's like a little part of me, like as a comedian, like if ever, God forbid, I got locked up, I'm like, well, what if I could use my comedy abilities to lighten the mood in the jail or whatever? And I'm watching. I know it's so stupid, right? But I'm very curious because a lot of your stories, you're talking about kind of teasing people. At what point do you build up the courage to be like roasting guys who are locked up probably for some dangerous shit? Is there ever a point where you're like, man, that's not the guy I'm going to tease? Like, how do you build rapport to be yourself?
I knew coming in, I was there for like 6. So the first 2, I was making my bones. And
Okay.
So people understood he's going to say whatever he's going to say regardless. Fighting him is not the way to go.
Because you grew up boxing, right? Okay, so you had some hands.
I know mass majority of people can't fight. I know it. So I'm like this. I'm like you really want to do this?
So you weren't scared at all?
I've never been scared.
Not even in the beginning. You tell this great story. Is one of the first things I saw you on an Ari show about the Mexicans are wearing boots.
Yeah, I was unaware, but not scared. Like, I wanted to know what it meant. I'm like,
Have you guys heard?
Yeah, of course.
Like, what did that mean?
Yeah.
I just was unaware. So in Domino Effect 3, that's why it's damn near my favorite one, because it's showing how unaware I was when I got locked up in the county. I'm like, I'm so unaware of how the process. But when dudes was at the bars like, yo, you slapped my sister. I'm like, no, I've never slapped a woman. Don't even know your sister. And then once I figured out they was talking to me, I was like, oh shit, so you trying to start something with me.
Oh, they're making up a fake
they
thing.
making
so
up
an
a
excuse.
thing. I'm like, and I couldn't, and once I figured out they was talking to me, I couldn't wait for them to come and let me in the cell. And I'm like, okay, cool. You making up shit? Okay, cool. I don't like to be lied on.
So
That's
you
what-
immediately
When I heard this story, that's when I knew I was pussy, because I'm like, he goes up to the 2 guys that are talking
as I
shit
get
to
in there.
Wait, tell me
These
this.
guys
tell
are
me this.
big. Yeah, tell them the
Yeah,
story.
what happened?
So
It's
I'm
crazy.
outside the bars, and when they getting ready to lock you up inside, they put you like in the hallway,
Right.
And so but the people can see you. Everybody can see you, and they locking up other people. And I'm sitting there waiting with this sandwich that I'm not gonna eat, just because you think you don't never eat because you think you're gonna get out.
Yeah.
So you don't eat nothing. You're like, I'm straight.
He didn't know how much his bond was. His
okay.
bond ended up being like 150,000 or
So
something.
you're
We
in
don't know
jail,
that
not
yet.
prison.
Yeah.
At
I'm
this
in
point,
jail- I'm
yeah,
in
you're
jail
in
at
jail.
this
Right.
point.
So
Yeah.
you think you're getting out.
And
Okay.
let me go back. I can make the bond, but my attorney said it wouldn't.
Yeah,
be
oh, that's
smart.
right. Yeah, his
Okay,
attorney
so
said,
prove him
yeah,
not the 150.
yeah.
They're like,
so
he's
this is
definitely
so
guilty.
funny.
My
You're
attorney
right.
like, yo, he's like, yo, I was like, I can make the bond. He's like, but you don't have a job. I'm just trying to.
that's good
He's like, so I
you-
gotta go to court, say you're not
I
a
gotta,
drug dealer.
I gotta go to court and try to act like I need bond reduction.
I'm gonna put my resort in Cabo up as collateral.
And so I'm waiting, and the dude was like, yo, that's him. And I'm looking down the hallway like, oh,
No, they're not talking about me.
Who are these guys talking to? Yes, yeah, that's who slapped my sister. And I was like, who is this abusive guy?
We should fuck him up.
I don't know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna slap, I'm whoop your ass when you come in there. And I'm like, oh, am I the only one in this hallway? Oh, so they talking to me. Oh, okay. So my first thing is like, yo, as soon as I get in there, we gonna see. Because I do not like to be lied on.
Didn't he have a friend who was like jacked and tall and
Yeah,
brolic
bro,
too?
that's Brian. Brian, he became my friend too. It's Poo Poo and Brian. This is the shit that they do to bother people when they getting ready to come in. So as soon as I get in, I put my stuff down and I'm like, yo, what's up? And dude's like, what? I said, you said I slapped your sister. He said, man, I'm fucking with you. And so I'm like, yo, but I'm still want to fight because you made up this narrative about me, and I just want to get it on.
Yeah.
I don't have, But I used to hear about this tank when I was in the street, 10B3. It's 1301 Franklin Street. This is a notorious place.
Okay.
And you would hear about it.
They be squabbling in 10B3.
Yeah. You would hear about it. And people say you don't want to go to a corner tank. And so when they're assigning people tanks, and I'm just sitting there, I'm standing there, and they giving all these people these other floors. He get right to me and say 10B3. I'm like, ain't that some bullshit? So that was my whole thing. I still wanted to fight.
And did you guys end up?
No, because they was just bothering me. So then maybe I'm in this tank for about fighting my case about 5-6 months. Now I'm doing the same shit
To other people.
That's him.
That's funny.
So you get in, we just fucking with you.
Okay, so you get convicted because you end up going to prison. Okay. Upon conviction, you say you've never been afraid, but you have to be like processing outcomes, right? Like, are you worried about, I'm going to bump into this person who has beef with a friend of mine on the outside? Like,
I don't really have a lot of beefs on us. My crew was protected, but my whole crew was locked up. They got all of us at one time.
so it was a homecoming.
So it was like, yo, all of y'all, come on, this way. So I really wasn't concerned about that.
Was it really the last drug deal you like legitimately? I didn't say that.
That was legitimate. I was done.
And he got pulled into one last. It was like a movie.
And I wasn't even supposed to be at this shit. Like I was literally out.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You were out?
Yeah,
you
my little
decided
crew,
you're doing something else with your life.
Told his
done.
partner, I'm done. I'm out. He
done.
said, do
I'm
one
cool.
more with me.
And he was like, yo, man, just do this last run with me, watch my back. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm there. And I kept saying it. Like, we never would have been locked up if Mo would have listened to me and wasn't on his. See, when people have financial woes, they make bad decisions.
Yeah, desperation.
You know,
makes you
you
sloppy.
get attitude with your friends. You got all this other shit. So I get there, and we in this hotel room, and they won't let me go to the bathroom. They say they taught something wrong with their toilet. Okay. And this is just me processing all of it. So when we sit down and they bring out the money, the first thing I ask, I'm like, wow, hundreds and fifties? This is a drug deal. 150? I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Wait, why? Because lower amounts would indicate
when
that
you
it's
sell
like a
sell drugs, it's going to be a lot of 10s and 5s and 20s and sliced up ones.
That's what you're getting paid in. And then
if you got clean bills, it's probably coming from a sting operation.
And it's clean bills. And I asked, I said, hey, what's these numbers on the money? And they said, oh man, that's a bank numbers came from the Franklin Bank in New Orleans. I had just left New Orleans. And I was like, Franklin Bank. Franklin. I said, okay. So I thumbed through the money and then I did the sign. I knocked on the table 3 times, which they're supposed to tell Mo, this is the police. We done. Let's dip. We go outside and I say, Mo, tell Charles, don't come to the parking lot with the coke. This is bad. He goes down and tells Charles, once we get locked up and we had to go to court together, Charles told me what he said. He said, oh man, your boy nervous. And it's all good. And I'm asking Charles as a grown man, why would you think I was nervous?
Yeah, he been running with you
knowing me since I was 14. When was I ever nervous?
All right, guys, not that many show dates. Dubai, I'm going to be there for the Dubai Comedy Festival, October 5th. The tickets are already over half sold out, so hurry up and buy those tickets. And last but not least, I'm very excited. I went to India like a month or so ago. I interviewed some people I'm very excited about. I also interviewed 1 or 2 people in the States, and I'm going to start dropping those. My first episode with Rami Youssef will be dropping either this week or next week, but look for it on my YouTube page. I'm very excited about this. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Let's get back to the show.
What's up, guys? Special announcement. I want to shake your hand. I have a very secret and special and important message for you listening. Yes, you right now driving your car, working. And the best way for me to tell you that is if you come to my shows. I'm going to Portland, Oregon, Fort Worth, Austin, Texas, Stanford. I'm also doing the Hard Rock in Times Square in New York City. I'll be doing a show produced by my good friend Alex Media on July 19th. Also at the end of the month, we have...
suck his dick! Suck his dick! Suck his dick!
Don't do it, please don't. Dude, Father Ben, my priest, hit me up and he was like, yo, why does Akash keep saying that? And I said, I don't know.
Because Father Ben
I
needs
know.
to get his dick sucked.
Chandler, Arizona, Washington, D.C., San Diego, Burlington, Vermont. And then also,
Dude, I
at the end of the
forgot.
month, we're doing a show at Mary Lou,
forgot
New
you
York
gotta suck
City.
his
It's my
dick.
show with Joey Avery. I'll see you guys there. I can't wait to tell you my secret message. See me after the
Sorry,
show.
I was
Peace.
peeing.
What's up, guys? Finally, I'm here. I'm throwing a show, comedy show. It's gonna be fun. No 2-drink minimum. Fuck all that shit. Just buy your ticket.
And
have
he's
some
paying the
laughs.
comics more.
And I'm paying comics more because comics be
What a
broke
guy.
now. You know, I do good stuff.
Do not suck his dick.
Why not?
Because that's why. Because that's why. Do not suck his dick. He's an engaged man.
We're talking to the dudes, though.
When he's married, you can suck his dick because then that's all that stops.
Yeah, but if it's dudes, it's not cheating.
That's true. If you're a man, you can suck his dick. It's huge.
Oh, fuck. This is going to be an episode. Okay, we're throwing a show on the June 28th at Barloom and then also July 19th at the Hard Rock.
July 10th. Also known as July 10th. Cancel comedy, right? Cancel comedy?
Yes.
Cancel comedy, July 10th. We're making it a day from now
Just
on.
go to Cancel Comedy X on Instagram. Check the bio. We'll have a link for all the tickets. And let's get back to the show.
How you and Charles became friends is the funniest story to me.
Tell
This might be my favorite story in the whole special.
Tell me.
So, Charles is running the apartments, and
What does that mean?
like, he's the supplier for mostly everybody in the apartments.
Got it.
That's selling dope. And where we live at is maybe 1, 2, 3, like 6 sets of apartments.
Okay.
So everybody got their own little section, but the greens is where nobody goes. They swear the police is over there. So I'm buying my dope from Rynell,
Okay.
which is Charles's brother-in-law, and they in the crew.
You don't
So,
generally meet Charles.
yeah, you don't really meet Charles. You just
Probably
meet
don't want to.
Rynell.
Yeah.
So I'm buying my little stuff from Rynell, and I decided to go to the Greens because and how I go to the Greens is because it's a homosexual guy named Tink that that tells Rynell it was very sassy. He was selling Rynell, he was buying something from Rynell, and he was like, Rynell, well, I gotta buy my cracks over over.
Get it out.
But Tink is fucking crazy. The outfit is Tink must have been like a fan of what's the name? Simmons, Richard Simmons. Because he had on like these little bitty ass Carl Lewis shorts, right? And these leg warmers. And he had this hat and he had a curl that really didn't take. So it was just wet hair. And he had on a half shirt that said Thriller.
Okay.
So he's terrible. But when he buy, I run around and catch him in the parking lot, and I was like, "Hey, Tink, it's people over there." He's like, "Yeah, we over there. All you gotta do is come over there. I bring you everybody." So when I get to the pool area. He told me to wait at the pool, and it's like, yo, he wasn't lying. It was so many fiends over there. They start coming out like Thriller, like Michael Jackson. They just zombies.
Yeah.
So I'm over there, son. So I'm
So now he's making money.
I'm
Oh,
making
so
a-
you're servicing this area that nobody went to because
That-
they thought the
in
cops
the
were over there.
Greens,
But it was really
yeah.
just gay people.
Yeah. No, it's not scary. Tink is the only one that's gay.
It only takes one.
Everybody else is just regular people. Tink is the only one over there with this bullshit.
You've seen Thriller, your buddy won. You all get it?
So
It's scary.
and Rynell notices that I'm buying more from him, very rapidly. So Charles wanted to meet me, and everybody hang out at the park. I don't know why drug dealers take over a park, but it's very.
They like the greenery. They want to be outside.
This is not even a green park. This is a park in apartments
Oh, it's just
where
cement.
where they put down some like rug, put a structure on top of it. Like,
Mold somewhere.
This is crazy.
They're doing their best.
It looks. You can look and see the pool, but so I'm over there, and Charles wanted to meet me, and I came over there to buy something from Rynell, and Charles keep trying to talk to me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to him.
Wait, why?
Cause this is like Nino Brown.
Oh, that's the top guy. You don't
I
wanna-
don't.
yeah.
I don't. Charles, hey man, what's up, little man? I'm like, hey, can I just get my stuff so I can go? And then Charles like, hey man, he told me that I was gonna work for him.
So
Because I was selling so much. No, he said, "Hey man, you gonna work for me?" I was like, "No, I'm pretty cool."
You said no to it.
And then Charles, at the time, I didn't know what this gun was. You know, I found out later. But this was the biggest gun I had ever seen, which was a Desert Eagle. Come to find out, it's Desert Eagle. And he pulls his gun out. He's like, "Hey man, what I say you gonna do? You gonna work for me?" And I had a 25 automatic that I had 2 weeks prior got into with this dude and took his gun. His gun fell out, and
Not a crackhead.
And I
gun
grabbed,
fell out. And he took the gun.
and I kept it. Right. So
It's
when
like a video game. This is crazy.
so when he pulled out his gun, I pulled mine out. I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna work for you."
Hold on. A guy points a Desert Eagle at you, and then in that time, you take out your gun and point it back at him. Is there any concern that normal people without you have like for some reason have like no fear? You have high fear tolerance, but normal people would be like, if I pull out my gun, this person's just gonna shoot me and then I'll die. Why were you not worried that that was gonna happen?
Because he got to shoot.
Yeah.
You got to shoot. You can't pull something on me. You got to shoot.
Actually, I've heard this. Like, if you pull the gun out and don't shoot, some people say like they're not willing to shoot in the first place.
I have had a gun put on me 3 times, and I've never been shot by either person.
This is actually the worst thing to happen because now you're probably too
You
confident
said
around
either
guns.
person, which lets me know someone pulled it on you twice, but that's...
No, no, 3 different people.
Okay.
And if my boy Kid Styles was here, Kid Styles, he'd be like, "Yep, this is what happened." A dude put a gun on me because I was ribbing on him in the parking lot.
This is what I'm getting at.
Those are gonna be the first to shoot.
Yeah. Okay.
He gets mad because I'm talking about him in the parking lot, and he pulls his gun on me. And I looked towards Kid. I said, "Kid, he about to get his ass whooped." And I turned and I said, "Hey, you better put that gun up before I fuck around and get mad out here." And then I just turned back talking to Kid. And he put his gun, and Kid was like, "Yo, you are a crazy man." I was like, "Man, if he was going to shoot, he would have shot. Because if I pull out on you, I'm going to shoot your ass."
Yeah.
I'm for 100% going to shoot you.
Yeah.
It's not even a doubt in my mind that I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to blow your fucking brains out. Because in my mind, I can't pull a gun on you and not shoot you.
Right.
That's me.
But what happened in this situation where he pulled the gun out?
We're in the middle of Jamaica. It's a club. All these people out here, you're not fucking finna shoot me.
Got it. So
Like-
you were basically you were telling Charles, you were basically like, listen,
with Charles, that was another person.
Yeah.
But going back to Charles, when I pulled my gun out, Charles is a big dude. He's not a small dude.
Yeah.
Charles snatched my gun out of my hand and said, "This motherfucker got heart." And I'm still sitting there with my hand like this, like,
You just got your gun finger up and no gun.
Just looking down.
I think the way he says in the specials first, he's like, this landlord put a gun on me. Like he's laughing about it, then snatches it.
This shit is like it is I just got heart and I done pulled a gun on him. He don't give a shit.
So he respected it.
Yeah. And then gave me my gun back and told me, "Man, anybody fuck with you, man, you let me know."
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So do you think a guy like him is so feared that he's actually looking for people with heart?
He looking for people with heart.
And especially you're like 16 at the time, right?
14, I
14.
think.
Oh, 14, yeah. So the young ones, you want to get them early. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you see a young guy with heart,
Yeah.
you're like, I can school this guy up and
He's either going to be with you or against you.
I could teach him whatever he needs to know, too. Like, I could teach him all that.
God. Now,
Hard
were
I can't teach.
you calculating that in the moment? Were you like, I have to show him that I'm not scared? Or it was just
It
a
was just
knee-jerk?
a reaction of you pulling a gun on me and okay, I got a gun too. Your shit got a flash though. Cause if this shit get crazy, I'm gonna shoot you. Now I may not hit you because it's a 25, which is the most inaccurate motherfucking gun of all time. But it's the fact. Because I've already acclimated myself to what's going on out here. At first I was very naive to it, but I've been through some little instances out here, so I gotta get my shit together.
Even at 14 years old.
Yeah. Drug dealing is not an easy thing. If I would go back to 14 in this whole situation, I would just hoop play the violin. I'll just do something. I'm like, give me a harp. Let me train my mind for something else. But and the crazy thing is, I never had to be out there.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, both your parents, your mom successful, your dad also, was it like a courier service?
Yeah, the carrier service.
Yeah, carrier service.
And my dad never sold crack. He only sold powder. Because that's who he was doing all these carrier stuff for with these attorneys. And they, could you give me some powder? And then he started selling powder.
Because he's selling it to the attorneys.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So he's doing the money drops and the exchanges for the attorneys. Because this is a time where I guess what you're not going to be like sending bank transfers or whatever like that. This is an in-person.
80s. He started that company in 1980.
So you have these successful, obviously smart parents. You don't have to deal drugs.
Not at all.
You're in the environment, but then your mom moves away at a certain point in time. She moves to a nicer area.
Yeah.
So like there is a version, you're clearly like a smart guy. Is there ever a version when you're like around this world where you're like, what am I doing? Like, I don't have to do this.
This is why I was getting out.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like, man, this shit is for the birds. You know, what am I doing?
How much money do you have at that point? I'm curious.
About, I'm gonna say tangible bread. So 84 pounds. I'm probably sitting on like 230.
Wow.
230 cash.
Yeah, cash.
Which is
At how old?
At this time, I'm 19.
So 19 years old, $250,000 in cash.
So I'm gonna say 18 because I'm about to get out because my birthday is October 17th. So I turned 19. We get busted on the 21st. So I was only like 19 on the street for like 4 days. It's a terrible present.
Here's a question I had when I'm watching though. You got 230 cash. Afterward, you're like, I'm out. That's not quite enough that you could just invest it and be set for life.
Where you got that from?
No, dude, at the time,
Yeah,
we're talking about 80s. That's probably
So you're
$1
good for
million
the rest of your
now.
life with 230 cash?
No, you start a business. You can.
Yeah, but that's why I'm. So what is your plan beyond this? You have a plan like I'm gonna do
all type of shit going on. Like I wasn't just making money from selling dope. I had a condo my mama didn't even know about. I could have released that out.
Okay.
I had all type of shit going on. Like I had invested in this rap group. I had a lot of shit going on.
So that's what I was wondering. Because I know you stopped at like 16.
You gotta think of 230 in the 90s, the early 90s.
Crazy.
Yeah, in Texas.
That's true. Texas too.
And
Yeah.
19, that's a lot.
You can
It's a
live.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm curious if he doesn't get locked up. Is there a point when he's like 25 or 23 where he's like, man, I was making so much money before I could go right back to that? Because that is kind of what happened at 16, right? When you were dating that girl, everything is good, and the money gets low.
I was chilling.
Yeah.
Charles, get out. I'm looking for you, baby.
No.
So this thing, that's 16, and I'm a kid. So I'm super kid at this point. I'm just in high school. Now just move up to I'm out of school.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm moving around and I'm good. I got 230 cash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Investments. I could have started anything at that point.
Did you have to manage street politics at that age? Like, did you maintain business relationships with other like rivals? Were you well liked?
I'm a kid, so it's not a lot of people who know me. Charles is the main front face. But I think that sometimes people get the eras mixed up.
Okay.
See, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
It's not like whatever this shit is now or in the middle of 2000s. I didn't have to know anybody. Because nobody's coming from their side of town to my side of town.
Oh, got
you know what I'm saying? I'm not even going 3 streets over. That's not my
Now
business.
it's so interconnected, but before it was neighborhood by neighborhood.
It was like people was trying to take over. You trying to take over a city now, but then it was. I just need my block, my apartments.
Yeah.
In the apartment complex, you know how many people in an apartment complex?
Yeah. You got everybody that you need right in front of you.
And I wouldn't even find out what people were doing until Memorial Day. Memorial Day is when all the big drug dealers and successful ones go to the beach, go to Galveston, and kick because everybody off, and you just go on. And this is when you show your car off. You know, what kind of car you got, who you with, all this, thing, your whole crew. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you knew, hey, man, what's up, Sherman? People that you know, or you go to the club and you see people who, I was never supposed to be in anybody's club.
Yeah, you were
But I've been in the club since I was 15. I never was supposed to be in the club.
Was there ever a moment where like you're 15, 16 years old and there's like grown women that you have access to?
Yes.
And they don't even know that you're a teenager?
I know.
So they was raised.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, hey.
Wow. Okay, so you're 15, you're with grown women, you got $250,000. Well, by 19, you got $250,000.
But my girlfriend was a girl that I went to high school with. I kept my girl. But in the streets, you got a grown woman. Hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, what's happening? Yeah. But I'm not gonna be seen with her. The grownest person was Adrian.
Yeah.
So I'm 18. Adrian's 24. And Adrian's fucking awesome. Man, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I don't even know why I like her because she smokes cigarettes and shit. But Adrian's fucking awesome. Like, anybody ever saw me with Adrian, it was like, yeah, she is fucking awesome. like, oh, dude, she was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes in my BMW. I never used this ashtray. She was the only person that ever used that ashtray. It was weird. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't smoking weed. I wasn't doing any of that. I was just a dude who I wasn't even in the streets like that. I was the person that picked up the money now.
So you had other guys working for you.
You got other in this operation. You scale up.
Who got you into the life? Like, how did that happen?
Nobody got me into it. You outside.
His shoes got made fun of.
That's what
you outside.
I relate to that because it's like I have a similar story, but nowhere to the level where you were at. But just doing knucklehead shit, and I didn't need to do it at all. Like, I was good at home. My mom had no idea of the stuff I was doing. That's why one of the funniest stories is when you actually get locked up and you have to call your mom and tell her.
Didn't want to call her at all.
My mom had no idea I was doing any of the shit that I was doing.
That's
It's
the
so crazy.
worst thing
Yeah,
when
I
you
know.
gotta call and reveal your fucked up life to your mom. and I was there for really 2 weeks before I called my mom.
Yeah.
So wait, you didn't go home for 2 weeks. Wow. Your mom's probably
I
worried.
didn't live with my mom.
Okay, got it. So she's used to you not at
Yeah,
least.
she used to me not.
Were you still calling her like, hey, what's up? Just checking in?
No.
You can't call from the jail.
Oh, yeah, they tell you where it's from. Yeah.
Nah, the way
hoping,
he did that first call, didn't you do a three-way? So it did.
I need a buffer. I need a buffer, man, because he's like, yo, this is terrible, man.
Okay,
like,
so what happens when you tell her? What?
Oh, my mom is pissed. She is like, yo. Like,
How do you break it to her? What do you say? What is the first thing you say?
Like, hey, Mom.
You told me I need to be out when I was 18.
I said, man, they say down. So I was selling. They say, well, I'm like, what the fuck you mean? They say. Who is they? It's like the feds. They say I was selling drugs. Like, it was just terrible, man.
Now, does she immediately? Is she furious? Does she step into mom mode where she's like, I need to protect you? Okay, she cried.
Cried first.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
And you on the phone like this. Damn.
Yeah.
And this is how you turn the phone up. You feel deflated. You're like, damn. Man, hang up, Byron. Shit. You like, man. And she's like, where you at? I'm like, I'm in the county, man. What's your bond? And she was like, and I'm like, hey, we can make this bond. And she's like, what? Man, remember I used to come to your house and plant stuff in your garden? Like, yeah, you're gonna have to dig them begonias up. My mom was pissed. She was so mad.
That line killed me in the spell. You gotta dig up them begonias.
You
I
have to
cackle.
dig them begonias up, but she was pissed, bro. My mom was, cause it's like real time. I was not honoring everything that she had been through to make our life good.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people don't think about. Just like even now, these kids that's in the streets, you don't want to honor your family. You rather
Family
do
sacrifice,
some dishonorable shit.
Yeah.
And to to appease people that don't really have any type of, they have nothing to do with your life.
There's Akash had like we were just talking about your specials, and Akash had like, I thought, like, a really great take on especially domino effects. And yeah, I want you to say more, but like this idea that like you take accountability for your actions.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, especially in comedy, a lot of us are talking about the things that have forced us into these situations.
We're the victims.
Yeah, and
this
it's
is
like
so sad for me.
It's like a cool, rare take where it's like, no, I made these decisions and I did this stuff, and I think it's very easy to be like, well, society made me, or these things made me. But even now, as you talk about it, you're like, no, I disrespected my mom's sacrifice. She did everything that she could have done to make me not do these things. I thought that's a brave take.
I think that's a huge thing about honor. And so when you hang out with other ethnic groups, other cultures, they have a big thing. Like, I don't know not one Pakistani guy that I actually personally know that's not what his parents told him to be. I don't know not one Indian guy that doesn't do what his parents told him.
He
to
fucked
do.
up.
Yeah. But you think my parents told me to do this?
Doctor, lawyer.
I tried.
You tried.
I tried as hard as I could.
You
I was
gave
just
it
too
a
dumb.
try.
His
Yeah.
mom thinks he's in the circus.
You know, and that's the thing that we lose honor in this society. I want you to go out and just be a good functioning human being. Nah, fuck that. I want to drill. What?
Yeah.
And you start to take on America's theme of the bad guy. Everybody want to be the bad guy.
Get money at any cost.
Good guys finish last.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
No, they
don't.
No, they really don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
finish
you've seen
safe.
last. Yeah.
Yeah, they finish safe.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite line of all of the specials is, it seems like I'm the only one locked up for what I did.
Why? Because everybody
else was, I was innocent, they framed me.
Yeah.
I'm like, they framed you. Okay, you just finished robbing somebody 2 cells over.
Yeah.
I think they got you pretty fucking pegged down. But you still in here robbing. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
we were doing a pod once, Charlamagne and I had a guy in the pod, and it's just like really great stories and hilarious, but he ended up getting locked up for, I think it was like 10 years, and for something he didn't do. And I asked him, and I was like, can I just ask you, did you do other shit that you should have got locked up for? And he goes, I should be in here for 200 years. So it's like, maybe they didn't get you for the one.
Yeah.
But there were
Like Al Capone.
Exactly. Capone, like, evaded taxes or whatever. But like, that motherfucker deserved to be locked up with gonorrhea or whatever.
And then what he died of syphilis.
Syphilis.
Yeah. It's like, it's like, hey, can't get you on this, but then the pussy got you. Take that syphilis and go. It's a thing, even in comedy. You have this thing where people feel like you owe me something in comedy. I'm supposed to, or you have this entitlement.
Yep.
And I'm like, nah, it really doesn't work like that. So I'm a lot of times comics, especially young comics, used to be mad at me, especially when I was in the club. I would come in, I'm headlining, and I'm putting all of your stuff out of the green room because this is a earned space.
Oh, interesting. So you
I
wouldn't
didn't come with you. If you didn't come with me, then this is not your space.
Interesting.
You have to earn this space. It's like I had to earn it. Damon Wayans was at my home club at the Improv, Houston.
Great club, by the way.
Yeah.
And he asked for me to come, or they asked for me to come. He didn't know who I was. They asked for me to come. And I get there Friday. I do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Somebody had, he had replaced his feature for Thursday. He didn't like him. And I just came into town. They asked me to come. So I came up there. I never went in the green room.
Out of respect for him.
Then Sunday, he had his son-in-law. Hey man, can you get Ali for me? I came in the green room. He said, I understand this is your home club. I'm like, yeah. why didn't you come in this green room? I said, I wasn't invited. And he said, you old school. I'm like, very much so. Because now, say if you got all your stuff in the green room, Dick Gregory takes a nap between the shows.
Yeah.
So you going in and out of the door while he's in. If I came with you, then yes, I'm in there.
You know
but
the
if I did
expectation.
not come with you,
Yeah.
I'm not going in the green room. I don't know what you got going on in there. It's not my space yet.
Yeah.
You have to earn the space.
Yeah.
And the feature the opener wants to, hey man, no. Because I didn't come up like that.
Yeah.
I came up under, this is the space for the headliner to get himself together.
Right.
Feature and host, y'all find somewhere in the club to be.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they never understood it. But then you get to the space where it's yours,
Yeah.
and then you understand. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm in here trying to get my mind together. You in here talking about some other shit.
God knows what.
You in here arguing with your wife while I'm fucking trying to get my mind together. I'm like, get your ass out of here. That's not, I don't want that type of energy.
Yeah.
And then especially if I don't know you.
Yeah.
Just like going on the road, like this new thing that people do. It's crazy. You probably get this. You'll go in on Instagram or somebody that message you, hey, I hear you coming to Seattle. I would like to be your opener.
Right.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
This is not about you being funny or not. I don't know you. And being in this space is an intimate space. You want your friends around you. I'm not some strange person
Right.
that you have no idea who they are. So then you put them on the show and then you listening. Yeah, I fucked the elephant last night. You like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
My audience don't agree with this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a version of it where it's also you're curating like a night for those people in the audience. And you're putting in a variable that you really don't know what could happen. And I think a lot of us come up where like, I just want the opportunity to open for somebody. And you think that maybe by opening for them, maybe they'll take you on the road. And that does happen and it is awesome. But the best way I think it's ever been done is like comics will ask to open and they'll just send a joke. And if I watch a joke and I think the guy's like hilarious, I'll be like, oh shit, this is awesome. Yeah, it'd be great to have like a local guy on. But the entitlement of just, yeah, let me do 15 minutes in front. It's like, do you not think that I don't have like some friends that I've been doing comedy with this whole time that I would love to give that opportunity, but we have an hour and a half to do this show? I think a lot of times maybe when you're young in comedy, and I'm sure I'm guilty of this, it's like you don't think about like what the headliner is creating as a night for the audience. And it's important to not interrupt that.
The best way for me is to use someone who knows me
100%.
that knows you.
Oh,
How I got on the first time I ever opened for DL, Malik S called me. And then DL like, yo, I want him to do the show. Like now, if
You've been qualified.
if I send somebody to DL, hey DL, you in Cincinnati, if you can allow this person, I mean, it's coming from me.
Yeah.
So if anything happens, it's on me. It's you don't have any type of buffer.
Yo, it's funny. The guy who sent me a clip asked me to rec him for someone else who was in town. And it does make it so much easier in that way when your friend who you believe in their comedy goes, yo, this kid is nice, he's funny, and he's familiar with their stuff. He's not going to fuck an elephant on the stage or whatever. Because that shit is important. I don't think that like people realize, I don't want to call it our anxiety, but like when you create something, and I like calling it art because I think it's art, when you create it with those expectations, you don't want to disrupt that.
Don't want to disrupt it. It's like you have to get validation and you have to get passed.
Yeah.
You know, from somebody else to somebody else. Everything in my career, I've got passed. I got on Ari's show because of Eric Abrams.
Oh, Abrams suggested you to Ari. Yeah.
And that's where it came from.
Yeah.
And Eric Abrams has directed every special I've done.
Really?
It's just Eric and Jordan. Me,
You're
Eric,
keeping that guy.
Jordan is great.
Me, Eric, Jordan, Joe, Matt.
Wow.
We just the four.
Yeah.
4 wise men and me. It's like, and we just rolling. And if somebody else, before they bring somebody else on, it's always a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, oh, this is such and such. It's just a weird thing. And I think that now younger comics have gotten entitled where we owe them something. But what bones do you know that I made? Like what do you know about my career?
Yeah.
Other than, oh, you see a special. No, I've been doing stand-up for 27 years.
I think what some might know is that you're going to have sold out shows that weekend and they can't wait to get in front of sold out crowds.
So you want to skip the club and come to the theater?
Yeah.
And the theater is a different monster.
This is something that I think is important. I think a lot of comics learn is silences in theaters are very different than silences in a small club. You got to be very comfortable owning those moments. And that's a skill you learn. Like, theaters expose jokes that aren't ready yet. You know what I mean?
And jokes and people.
Yep.
It's a thing. And 100 people being quiet
Is different than
versus
2,000.
it's a different monster.
You're right.
And then you have to, even when you first started doing theaters, did you realize how tired you were after the show versus when you were doing clubs?
Yeah, there's a different. I think it's because you put so much hours. Like my journey was, I was doing clubs kind of pretty early, and I did like 3 or 4 rounds before I ever even got a door deal. Like, I did maybe 2 rounds of clubs where I was selling them out, and I got those bullshit bonuses they give you.
Yeah.
Where you sell out the whole weekend. They're like, well, here's $500.
So extra $100.
And I was like, I'm rich. The club made $100,000 on me that weekend. I got $500. Like, I'm so excited. But I think I did that a few times. So yeah, you start to understand the pacing of that size room. And then when you first make that jump into the theater, I definitely remember it's like, ooh, that joke wasn't ready yet. I could sell it in the club, but the theater, the joke wasn't developed enough for the theater. I couldn't hold the tension enough in that joke. That punchline wasn't strong enough to make him erupt. And it is like a luxury, a privilege to do those big rooms. But I will say, like, it will sharpen your comedy in a very special way.
And I'm not even talking about the material. I'm talking about your body. Because in a comedy club, and what you 20 steps this way, 20 steps that way.
You can engage them. You're right there.
20, you're not really putting maybe an extra 100 steps in your life.
Yeah.
A theater, I can't sit right here. I gotta go over there.
Yeah.
I gotta go. So I done 3 miles
Yeah.
on this stage. I'm back and forth. I done 3 miles.
You know something that, like, I think even it helped me for theaters is like when I would do clubs in the city, and I've noticed you've done this as well, or you do it, but like I would sit down and I would try to use like as little energy as possible. And it was really like testing if the jokes were strong enough to carry it on its own. I was like, I know I can perform these things, but like, what if I just kind of clip my wings and see if the joke can carry it?
Cosby.
Because we can all like dance up a joke in a small room, but like if you can take almost everything away from it and just focus on that connection. And I've seen a lot of your stuff, and I know you talk about walking around, but you'll be seated and you'll let them come to you. And I think it's like developing that ability to hold attention while not doing anything is crucial for going into these bigger venues. Because even taking a few steps to somebody that's on the top balcony, that just looks like sitting down to them. You know what I mean?
Like, so I did the Beacon, right? And I knew that I didn't want a host or a feature. I just wanted to do it myself. It was a thing. Last year you came, somebody opened up, then Ryan Davis,
Of course. Yeah, I love Ryan.
He's great.
came out. But in my mind, this time it's just me and the people. Peter Parker, great DJ, he did his thing. And then when the lights went out, I heard this eruption, like they knew I was, and I felt like when I was at the DMX concert, I just started screaming for no reason because I knew he was coming. I was like, no man, all the lights went out. I was like, as soon as they, I was like, oh shit, DX. So when I walked out, they real live didn't know that I was coming out first.
Oh, so it was a real surprise for them. They're expecting an opener.
Yeah, and then I watched the whole place erupt because they're like, oh no, that's him.
Yeah.
And this lady DM'd me and said, it's crazy because I've never done this before. You walked out and I was so excited, I just started crying. And I was like, oh, almost a Michael Jackson shit. and it was like a great compliment that she was so excited. And I've been that excited to see probably one
people
person
in your life. Who?
X.
Yeah.
It was like DM, it was crazy. And he did a movie premiere in Houston, and he was sitting right in front of me, and my boy was like, you losing it, huh? I'm like, fucking right. So he shot a video. He shot his video in Galveston.
Which song?
I forget the song that he shot in Galveston, but they can probably find it. But his crew was at this club called Cloud 9. And this is back when I was drinking Hennessy, like crazy. I was a crazy person. So I get thrown out the club because I was standing on their furniture and I wouldn't stop. So I'm out the club, right? And this dude named Wham from Chicago, Wham come out, and Wham was like a big time gangster. He was the only person I ever seen being able to carry a shotgun in the club, like with no, I don't even think he had no license or nothing. So he comes out, who was standing on my goddamn furniture? And I was like, I'm so drunk. I'm like, I was standing on your furniture. And he's like, Ali, you need to cut this shit out. And so some other dudes named Fats, and they from Queens, they started laughing. And I'm like, fuck y'all laughing about? And when they threw me out, it's like the parking lot is gravel. So I kind of slid, and the Ruff Ryders was on this bus. And I was like, yo, y'all can get it, and everybody on that fucking bus can get it.
Oh, no.
So they get off the bus, and they walking towards me, and Wayne got a shotgun and say, now y'all ain't gonna fuck with him. He was saying, Ali, go back in the club. I'm like, no, Wham. What they talking about? Wham was like, yo, you know you losing your fucking mind right now. I'm like, hey, and then when I went back in the club, and about, I'm gonna give it 10 minutes, I'm right back on that goddamn furniture. Me and this girl named Zenobia was dancing on the furniture. And he was like, yo, Ali is fucking terribly drunk right now.
Are Rough Riders in the club at this point?
Yeah, no, they still outside.
Okay.
And Capone, because this comic from here.
Capone,
Capone brings me here. I'm doing BBQs, and it's a little box. And I'm like, Capone, I need a stool. He said, nothing can fit up here. I'm like, no, I need a chair. And the microphone comes down, and then I'm doing my thing, and the Ruff Ryders
upstairs
are in the back. They like in the back. And I turn. I did not get into it, y'all in Houston. And then he was like, oh, you better not start that shit up. Like, I didn't give a shit. Like, man, he was like, Capone was like, yo, you a fucking crazy man. I said, all I'm gonna do is, and I remember saying this to them. I said, you know something, y'all ain't gonna do nothing to me, because if I go out there and push them bikes over, y'all gonna cry.
That's the real domino effect.
And we had a good time today. They knew I was fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
Did you ever get to meet X?
Just at the movie premiere.
Just at that moment. Yeah,
just
yeah,
at
yeah.
that movie premiere.
Yeah,
That was before all this happened, though, right? He didn't remember you from trying to fight his entire crew.
He wasn't there. He was they was already setting up in Galveston.
Okay.
They was headed to Galveston, but they would stop the party. But I remember being that excited to see, because it's like I could relate to everything
that he was saying.
that he was saying.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a lot of new rappers. I don't relate to none of this shit they be saying.
Nothing.
Nothing. Like, I'm like, that's what y'all doing? This just sounds stupid.
Really? All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. There's some copy here. Let me just tell you what I want to say. They turn supplements into gummy bears, and it's absolutely fantastic. Okay, I walk into the office, I grab a pack of these gummy bears, pick them up, I tear it, and I eat it, and they're delicious. And then afterwards, I get to feel good about it. I don't get to feel like I ate gummy bears. I get to feel like I got my daily supplements. This is genius. Groons. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah.
Groons? Because I saw that little umlaut, so I assumed it was Groons.
Yeah.
Everyone in the studio is eating these every single day, probably too many packs a day.
Yep.
I would like to show you what they look like. We ate them all.
Truly.
Because it is a fantastic snack and it's actually good for you. It's low in sugar, gut healthy, and has immunity and cognition benefits. You want a supplement that you can enjoy. This isn't a chore. It's not something disgusting that you're just eating so you could live forever. This is the thing that you want to eat nonstop. I would eat it for 4 meals a day if I could. The point is, you got to go to www.gruns.co and you're going to get up to 52% off. Use the code Flagrant. Go do it right now. They're absolutely delicious. Now let's get back to the show.
All right, guys, let's take a break real quick. I'm literally going to eat this right now because we have to record for 3 more hours, and I'm not going to have time for food. And this is the healthiest, best protein bar on the market. It's a protein bar with a simple concept. It's the most protein with the fewest calories. 28 grams of protein, 150 calories. You know how insane that is for a protein bar? Most of the time, if it's got 28 grams of protein, it's like 300, 400 calories. They cut that shit in half. It's fantastic. Stop fucking around. Buy these. Adequate protein intake is critical for building and preserving muscle now and as we age. It also plays a vital role in metabolic health, preventing excess body fat accumulation. Listen, I'm trying to get less fat. I'm eating one of these every day. I think it's working so far. So that's all you need to know. Look at me. Do I look good? No. Do I look less shitty? Yes, I believe so. David bars. That's why. David is also available now in stores in New York City. So if you're in the city, stop by the grocery store, the Morton Williams, the bodega, whatever it is, get your protein fix. Stop fucking around. Get these bars. I promise you they're good. I like this flavor, chocolate chip cookie dough. I co-sign that. Ferociously, I co-sign cinnamon roll. What are y'all's favorite flavors?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter chocolate chunk, fire.
Goes crazy.
Regular peanut butter, fire. They got 6 delicious flavors. They're all worth trying. Find the one that works for you. And if you buy 4 cartons, you get a 5th for free. So if you're curious, which you should be, try it for yourself at davidprotein.com/flagrant. Now let's get back to the show.
There's nobody new that you really fuck with?
No, not
What about
really.
not just rap? What about any other new music?
What's crazy, who I was listening to, like, real heavy.
Sabrina Carpenter.
What's my girl name? Ella May.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ella May.
Yeah.
Real hard. I'm R&B. I'm more R&B. I like my shit to be soothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You went through enough stress.
I don't want nothing to hype me. I don't want to be listening to nothing to me. Like,
I don't want you hyped up either.
Yeah.
We need Ali as calm as possible.
Jazz. Only jazz.
I was doing another podcast,
Who's pot?
waving a red flag.
Okay.
Okay. And I almost didn't come on here.
No way. What happened?
I was finna call my manager. I'm like, yo, he got something against black women. I'm not fucking with him. He was saying, I'm not fucking with him.
Don't
right?
believe the internet, Ali. Come on.
So no, this is what I did. I went on Pivot and watched the whole
Oh yeah.
interview. Like, I was doing interviews, watching it. They were like, you gotta come out. I'm like, right now, I don't want to miss it. Like, I can't pause the shit, right? So as I constantly listened,
Yeah.
it made sense.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, my first, and then you had said your knee-jerk reaction was to go with, and my knee-jerk reaction, oh, I'm not fucking with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that it made more sense because that's what happens with us a lot.
Yeah.
It's people that don't fuck with me, period.
And they
Because of
probably don't
something-
even know you. It's a headline or
Yeah.
one line that you said. Yeah, this is like, I think we're all guilty of this shit. And that's why I kind of have empathy when people are saying these certain things. It's like the version of me that you think I am, I probably would feel the same way as you. That's just not who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like people got mad at me because I said something about Tupac. Well, he was a fucking dancer
For
when I met
Digital
him.
Underground.
Like you mad at me for the truth?
Yeah.
Like, he was dancing. I'm like, this is public record. This is public knowledge.
What did you say about him being a dancer?
And I just said, when I met Tupac, I'm already in the streets. So when I meet him, he's with Digital Underground.
Yeah.
I meet him with Digital Underground.
Yeah.
When he be,
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. He's in the elevator. He's there in Houston for a music conference.
Yeah.
I meet him then. It wasn't the Thug Life Tupac at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
But why would it be when I'm already in the streets?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have looked at him like that.
Yeah.
So then when I go to prison, then I hear all the rest of this shit, and I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I never saw them in concert.
Yeah.
I never saw Biggie in concert. My shit started at 14.
Yeah.
They wasn't in the streets like that when I was coming up.
Yeah.
Why did this make people so mad?
Because they got some love affair with a person that they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's people that was in my DM that probably wouldn't defend their mom like this.
Yeah.
You won't honor your family, but you want to honor the legacy of Tupac when you won't honor your family.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one person on this planet that I actually don't know that I would defend.
That vehemently. Yeah.
That I'm going to take my time out to say a threatening message to you, incriminating myself on the internet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then in my mind, I'm like, people don't understand. I'd have never said I was the toughest dude. I'm just willing to defend myself with everything that I have and my family.
Right.
You don't have to be tough for that.
I think some people call that toughness, for sure.
But the level that I'm gonna go through to defend myself is crazy town.
Yeah.
Like you can't even imagine the type of shit I do to defend myself.
But now you're at a level where
people say that shit all the time.
No.
I don't give a shit about You got so much to lose. I don't give a shit about
not that. Because it's something I deal with. It's specifically with the situation you just brought up, where it's just like you get to a level where people know you so casually. Earlier in your career, they probably know you intimately. Your super fans have seen probably 10 hours of your comedy. They know everything they know if you say this about Tupac, they're like, yeah, because he met him when he was a dancer. They know everything about you. Like the people that listen to the podcast religiously, they know everything about us. So when they hear some like stupid rumor on the internet like that, it was like, yeah, that's not Schultz at all. Like, what are you talking about? But the people that know you casually, the bigger you get, the more people know you casually and will start having opinions about you based on that casual nature that will be wrong. That's where I start to go, if you fight every single wrong opinion about you as you reach superstardom, you'll never stop fighting.
Never stop fighting.
So there has to be a certain point where it's just like, I know you're willing to die for it, but for the person that doesn't even know you, does that make sense?
Okay, I'll go with that.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you when you're right.
But I feel like a part of you is like, but still, if they call me out my name, I'm still going to
You'll meet them wherever.
They got to know there's a cost. But you can't be paying that debt every single time because that is the nature of success. Like, I thought about that. I mean, we have this conversation all the time where it's just like the cost of success is the lack of understanding of who you truly are. There are people that think, who's the guy that plays Iron Man? What's his name?
Robert Downey Jr.
There are people that think Robert Downey Jr. is actually Iron Man. They don't think he's some guy.
I actually love Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, because he's Iron Man to you.
And and it took me a long time to get back to him. And I've always liked his shit. But then he did Less Than Zero. And I was like, I don't know.
Wait. What happened in Less Than Zero?
It's some scenes where he had semen on his mouth. I was like, nah.
I knew it was some gay shit, son. I knew it was some gay shit.
Fucking Robert Downey Jr. I was like, yo, and it took me a while to get back. It took, and like I watched all the Iron Mans. He got me
It
back.
wasn't until he died in Avengers that you were like, I forgive him.
Like, I was like, oh, come on with this bullshit, man.
Son, this is the funniest thing too. When he first gets locked up, he gets put on a block that is known as back then they called it the Sissy block. It's all gay people. And then there's some OG telling him like, he's like, I need out. I can't believe they're thinking
I
it,
didn't
whatever.
know. Like this is the crazy thing. This is why I learned.
How'd you act up?
I learned how to speak up for myself. So the warden, when you get processed on this unit, the warden comes and he asks you questions. And me being so fucking cavalier, and he's like, well, you think you can protect yourself on this unit? And I said this. I should have just said, this is why you gotta be direct.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Me, my cavalier asked him, we'll see. And he's like, okay, cool. Put his ass on
Sissy block.
put his ass on T2. And I didn't know, right? So the first time we went to eat.
This shit is so funny,
First
bro.
time we went to eat, so all these
It's
fucking
just
dudes
bananas.
spinning,
They're not even chewing.
like fucking spinning into the goddamn cafeteria. And I come in late. I'm the last person. And my boy Elliot was like, what the fuck is you doing over there? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just where they put me. He said, man, you gotta get the fuck from over there. You look at your cellies. I'm like, I don't know what the whole rest of the prison look like. I just know these motherfuckers is weird, but
Yeah, clean.
and
Yeah, they've organized the cell well.
then the night came.
Wait, no.
The fucking night came.
No.
Oh, this shit, you can't take this. You like, okay, I'm in this cell and you hearing all type of fucking smacking.
You want to talk about Rough
And,
Riders?
you like, and I'm like,
X is coming.
what's going on in here? And I was like, yo, and this old dude that been over there, because it's like PC, this old dude, and I get out, I say, yo, man. He said, man, I go to sleep at night. I don't be up.
Yeah.
So I go to sleep. I don't know none of the activities. I know this is fucked up, but it's Cadillac over here. I said, man, I don't give a shit. I gotta get from over here.
What's Cadillac?
That's what it's called. It's laid back.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah.
No fighting, no nothing. He could have done the easiest time ever.
I think listening to guys suck each other off is pretty difficult.
What the fuck are we talking about? It's prison.
Oh, man.
So I asked. I said,
Yeah, you're in the same place. I'd have been like, yo, I'm chilling over here.
I'm like, hey man, y'all think y'all can move me? And the CEO told me, no, Sissy. I was like, bro, not me. I'm just up, man. Hey, bro, I just need to be moved. And old school said, man, it ain't nothing but a couple ways to get moved. Either they move you,
Or
you got to start beating people up. And I asked them one more time to move me. And they was like, no. And then the shit went bad, and old school like, oh, come on, youngster, you're fucking the Cadillac up. And I'm in there hitting people that ain't got shit to do with nothing. So they take me out, they put me in solitary for 2 days, and the warden comes, he said, I'm finna put your ass on the worst block on here, and it was M block. I get to M block, and this is like home. Like they in there gambling. It's all type of foul prison shit going on over there. And I'm sitting there like this.
sleeping peacefully.
I'm like, yeah, this is better. This is like,
That's
like
your
I'm
Cadillac.
in the county. Like I'm in the back of the Cadillac. I'm like, I'm good. I didn't want to be associated. That's a hard time to do.
Because if you're there, people start thinking that you're there for a reason.
You're there for a reason.
And then you could be a victim, right? Like,
You probably could be. That they would have found out, oh no, they just misplaced him. No, it was a bad situation. So once I got to M block,
you were good.
it was straight.
And you knew enough people at M Block where.
I didn't know anybody on M block.
And did anybody not try you on some gay shit, but anybody
Nah,
like
they
test your.
they heard why I got moved over here.
So they were like, all right, we
It was
respect
like,
it.
yo, that motherfucker was not staying on that block. And apparently other people had gone through that.
When you were beating up the guys on the Sissy block, did any of them enjoy it? Were they like,
S&M, like I'd have been so mad.
what do you start doing? What do you start doing?
Don't enjoy it.
Choke me.
Fucking enjoying this beating.
Start punching yourself. I don't know what to do.
Yo, prison just
Oh
seems
my
so
God, I
crazy.
never even thought of it. I would have been so fucking mad.
That's all it takes,
Some
right?
dude's like, yes, yeah.
I'm gonna keep that in mind if I ever go to prison. If someone tries to
man,
fight
don't
me,
go. Don't
if
go
someone
to
tries to
prison.
fight me, I'm gonna call him daddy immediately. I'll be good.
That's not the word.
It'll work.
That's
It'll
not
get
a
me
safe word. That's not a safe word. That is an awful word. It's just like, oh, it's so bad. So I can just see the type. Oh shit. We were daddy. Oh.
He's strong.
So bad.
How crazy is it that the COs made you do some shit, made you do some fucked up shit just so you could get to a place where you wouldn't do fucked up shit?
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole, like, how much control do you have over where you sleep in prison?
Basically, none until you gotta kind of get known.
Does known mean like you curry favor with the COs, or does known mean,
Administration.
oh, it's above them?
Yeah, above them.
So by the end of the time, like, you seem like you have high emotional intelligence. So by the end of your time there,
Trustee camp.
got it. Like, you're
Trustee camp. I'm chilling. Like, I'm fucking late. I'm so chilling that I got Dexter Manley moved to where I was at.
Who's Dexter Manley?
One of the greatest college
One
football
of the
players.
greatest football players of all time.
Hold on. So you find out that Dexter's there.
Yeah.
You politic with the warden.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, bring him in over.
Mendoza. Yep.
And despite his role, did you guys have some sort of, I don't want to call it friendship, but like,
Dexter's from 3rd Ward in Houston, where I'm from.
No, not Dexter, the warden.
Oh, Mendoza. Oh, Mendoza was A1, bro. He was.
How do you build a relationship with these guys? Like, where does that start? I imagine it's like a years-long
Tell you
process.
where it started.
Yeah.
Because the funniest thing, when I got to Torres, they was in a crazy gang situation. It was a lot of riots.
Okay.
I came from another unit I was considered an old head when I got to.
You're 20 years old.
I'm 21, and I'm considered an old head.
Okay, OG.
I'm coming from a unit of old school cats.
Right, got it.
So when they send us there, to get the unit under
In check.
control.
Oh, there was too many young dudes who were causing problems. Didn't
no
know how to do
guidance.
time.
Yeah.
Got it. So they strategically will send some
Old
OGs
school,
there
yeah.
to get the young guys to kind of stay in line.
Hey man, because let me tell you about old
That's
heads
kind of smart. It's
in
like
prison.
understanding that the prisoners do run the prison to a certain extent. So you can't just bully them into submission. You have to kind of work with them.
You need a boss to go over.
Wow.
Like having a veteran in the locker room. and all
It, with the,
Like
with,
having a veteran locker room.
it's Udonis Haslam. It's like
Yeah.
you don't even have to play, but he's going to keep everybody in line.
Hey man, you don't want to do your time like this. You explain to people, man, you don't want to do your time like this.
That's right. The young guys are coming in. It's their first bid, and they just like, I'm going to act crazy like the
Wow.
street. And the OGs need to come in and be like, dude, this is every day. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Let's pass this shit in the best way possible.
Hey,
Okay.
talking to people.
So you get tapped. How does he know that he can? This is kind of the interesting thing. Are you already friends with Mendoza? Not friends, but do you already have like enough trust built up with him?
Mendoza noticed that everybody on my block started enrolling in school.
Interesting. Okay, so
And I was the person that would, with the young, because you had different age groups and old heads go to different, you can talk to them. You can talk to these group of people. So you had people that was already in the field that started enrolling in school and enrolling in trades, because now you have somebody who's saying, so this how you gonna do your time? What you gonna go back outside with?
to nothing. Yeah, go outside. There was some sort of education. You're gonna have a
And I
chance.
look like them. I'm the same faith. It's just like now. When they ask me to come somewhere, I don't speak to children that's in trouble like I'm not a part of this trouble. I don't go in with you gotta do. I'm like, let me tell you what I was doing. And let me tell you how embarrassing this was. Let me show you how the road that you're going to end up if you continue to go down this road. You know, let me show you the weakness in you by showing you how weak I was at this time. That's why you will never hear me glorifying selling drugs.
Right.
Because it was so crippling to my community. I remember being Roy Bush Jr. I tell this story. He still doesn't realize how him and
Roy.
Chris Cotton
Rest in peace to Chris Cotton, man.
Rest in peace, Chris Cotton. Saved me. We doing Comedy Central does a festival in San Francisco.
Okay.
And they're doing Ari's show to this is not happening, and I'm there to do the show to tell another story or whatever. And I'm so depressed because I can't find a road to the theater that wasn't riddled with homeless drug users. And I'm so sad because my mind keeps saying, what was the role that you played
In this.
Yeah.
It's probably the Fillmore that you were performing at.
Yeah, this is the offspring
of your actions.
Your actions. Yeah. And it was, man, I would walk 10 blocks down to go down 10 blocks, come around and still with see. And I was really depressed. And when Roy asked me what story I was telling, and Chris Cotton was talking about what story he was telling, and Roy told me the story he was telling about when he got booed at the Apollo. And he was staying, he didn't really have no money to stay. He was staying next to like this prostitute who was doing her business. And she had told him all these people she had to sleep with, and he had got booed. And then he was sitting on the steps, and she walked up saying, "It didn't go well, huh, baby?" And he was like, "Nah." He said, "No, you know when I told you about them dicks I was sucking? Some of them dicks had bumps on them." This thing, but you gotta keep doing what you gotta do.
Shit.
And he said,
Could be worse.
He said it's gonna be a bump in the road. And I'm like, I am laughing hysterically. And it kind of broke me up from thinking about it. I'm like, Roy, that is fucking awesomely funny.
Shout out Roy.
Yeah,
Roy's
he's the
fucking
best.
brilliant. Yeah.
You know, I go through these times where I blame myself for this culture, how these kids, because I was out there wild. And that's what was my initial thing. People was like, well, when you think that you gonna blow up, I would always say, when I pay the universe back for the wrongs I've done. And that's a big thing. If you believe in energy, you believe in karma, the things that you did that was destructive, you have to, rectify those things.
Yeah.
Before you get to another level and be destructive again. Like, I don't want to be destructive in my speech. I don't not want to be a beacon of light for people. That's why I don't mind telling the stories about prison, because some people will look at it like, oh shit, I was in that same condition. How can I do this?
Yeah.
And I tell them now, this is not the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is to have a normal
Life after,
functioning life. You don't have to be because I don't consider myself no superstar. I don't consider myself even a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? I'm not invited to shit. I'm not a celebrity. I don't invite you to a goddamn thing.
Yet.
You know what I'm saying? I saw you at the Tom Brady thing.
Yeah,
You was
yeah,
on stage.
yeah.
I knew everybody up there.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting in I was behind Earthquake.
I saw you backstage before.
I saw you,
Yeah.
but you was on stage.
Yes.
I was invited by my publicist.
Yeah.
And my publicist was like, yo, I do. Because the publicist that was running the thing, I was paying, I'm talking about, damn, they should have got me a ticket, all that fucking money I was paying per month. Yo, it's crap, man. You'll pay a publicist to
$5,000, $7,000 a month. Yeah.
Do nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes they are effective. I think early in my career, I was like, this is a fucking waste of money. But I will say this, like last run, I thought they did a really good job of like getting, especially for guys like us who do YouTube and like social media stuff, getting mainstream sources to pay attention to what we got going on. It's almost like Hollywood and like mainstream outlets have no clue the views that we're getting. Like they're completely uneducated about what's happening on the internet, which is where all the people actually are. Mm-hmm. There's a huge disconnect, man.
You talking about, I've been on the Emmy ballot 3 times.
Yeah.
And people with lesser material. And
Bro,
I'm like, okay.
Don't seek justice in this business,
And
bro. Don't seek justice.
I stopped, but the point, I keep plugging at this particular thing, the Emmys and the Grammys, because one of us had to win shows.
Yeah.
One of the independents have to eventually win.
Yeah.
And now the floodgates are open if one of us wins anything.
Yeah, I went out there for this like Emmys thing, this like introduction thing that basically Netflix pitches the people that they're hoping might be nominated and win, and it was one of those things where it's like, I'll be honest, like one of the execs came over like, listen, this isn't exactly like a meritocracy. There are certain people that just kind of get nominated every year, and I'm not trying to shit on them. I just think that there's like a lack of understanding of like what we're doing, and I'm very fortunate that it feels like, especially maybe even with the last special, the mainstream, for better or for worse, there's criticism, but then there's sometimes celebration, at least is becoming more aware. And that's why I've been paying attention to what's happening with you, because at a certain point, the numbers can't be ignored. You know what I mean? It's like they just break through on their own. And like, I witnessed it happen for me, like even being invited to the Tom Brady thing. Like, Tom Brady thing was Sunday, just to put things in perspective. Mm-hmm. Friday and Saturday, I did Madison Square Garden. So it's like, that's where I was in my career, and that's how I've always kind of looked at things. In order to get that Tom Brady opportunity, I need to first sell out Madison Square Garden twice. In order to get JFL, like New Faces, remember that thing? Yeah. I had to have 5 shows on MTV. And I'm looking at other people on New Faces like, they are new, because I don't even know your face. So like, I've accepted that it might not be a meritocracy, but I'm going to have to work. I don't care how many times harder. I'm just going to have to work to get it. And that's literally why I was very excited for you to come on, because I'm seeing what's happening with you. And is it delayed? And is the awareness from like maybe typical industry delayed? Yes. But is it imminent? Absolutely. Because you cannot deny numbers and appreciation. Skill you can deny. I think people deny skill all the time. But they cannot deny a wave of interest.
Yeah, a community, an audience that really fucks with it.
You cannot deny.
And whether you get an Emmy or not, I feel like your audience won't care either way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because they know the real. They see it. They consume it.
I sometimes you just reminded me of something about Montreal, like with Montreal. They call me and say, hey man, you have Montreal, they want you to come to Montreal, and you're gonna do like 6 theater dates, but their theaters are smaller. I wasn't invited to the galas or nothing.
Of course, yep.
So, and I asked, I said, for what? Like, why am I going? It's like, what? I said, I don't want to go to Montreal. And he's like, no, this is the Super Bowl of comedy. I said,
yeah.
What do you go there for? To get management, to have a deal. And at the time, I had a deal with Comedy Central, I had an agency, and I had management. I said, did y'all quit or something? And they're like, no, but you just go. And they had to really convince me to go. I'm glad I went
It's an education process, dude. It sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy because I know the exact position you're in, by the way, where it's just like you're doing bigger venues than these people that are getting like nominated for things. You have bigger numbers and you're just looking at the raw data going, what the fuck am I missing here? But Hollywood is really a bubble. Like even anytime I've done a movie, the only people that know me on the movie set are the guys that are like, they're working the set, like the grips, the lighting.
That's what be knowing me.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're the ones that are watching the real shit, right? They're not watching like, what is this avant-garde new like movie that's in French that like, if you say you like it, shows you have taste in cinema. Like, now the real people will kind of know. And eventually that becomes so deniable, it trickles through.
Would you do the Addams Family? Would you do Gomez?
Because I look like him?
Yeah, I'm like, you'd be a fucking great Gomez.
Speak Spanish fluently.
If they're rebooting, maybe I'll check it out. I got to read the script first. All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. Listen, we're in the same stuff that we wore last week. Not like anybody's noticing that, but we would like to bring it up because we're authentic.
Dude, what a finals, right?
Listen, we are.
I mean, unreal.
You know what's funny though is like we're recording this right now. We have no clue if World War III has begun. Mm-hmm. You know, like, so it is, if it has begun, this is what life used to be like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a little time capsule.
It is a time capsule.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
Shit, we might be dead right now.
Whoa,
Facts.
whoa.
You don't think they getting over here?
Why would you say that?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We don't got an Iron Dome yet.
I'm on vacation, bro. Right now I'm on vacation
So
somewhere.
you're closer to the fucking
Well,
fight.
who knows where I'm on vacation?
Yeah, what are you doing right now?
I can't tell you. I'm not going to give up my location. God forbid. God forbid they do some sort of like targeted attack. I'm not going to do it. Point that I'm trying to make is that there's a big UFC fight that is this weekend if America still exists.
Okay.
Where is it?
Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Even if it doesn't exist, I have a feeling Dana's going to be like, yo, we're doing
He's
it.
going to make that fight. He's going to make that
It's
fight.
happening. It's
100%. It will be in the desert no matter what. So, Topuria versus Oliveira. I listen, with all due respect to Oliveira, I can't see how Topuria loses this fight.
Same.
This Topuria guy is, Oliveira gets touched, he gets hit, and he has amazing resilience. Like he'll go down and then get back up. But I can't see Topuria not connecting, and I can't see him. Yeah, he doesn't have the jiu-jitsu that Oliveira does, but he's a great wrestler. So it's, I don't see. I think it's going one way.
Yeah. I don't know much for what I'm seeing of Topuria. He's nice.
I'll tell you one thing:
nasty.
that the fight before it is Pantoja versus Cara France. Cara France. Kai's a Stylebender's boy, and Pantoja is just an absolute menace. That's going to be an interesting one right there.
Really?
That's going to be an absolute. What is it? A barn burner?
Oh yeah, barn burner. Yeah.
Why is that a saying?
I don't know, but Charles Barkley always struggles saying that's a barn burner.
Why? Where does that? Why is that? Why do we describe that as like a good thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen a barn burn. I imagine it's probably pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
Right? If that shit's going up.
Yeah.
It'd be like a party.
Feels like there might be like something
racial undertone.
Racial
I feel
undertone.
like
Yeah.
This is a real Wall Street burner. You're like, oh, wait a second.
That's not good.
No, that didn't work out.
A Dutch farmer burned his own farm down to get rid of rats.
A Dutch farmer burned his own farm down to get rid of rats. Got it.
Insurance fraud.
Yeah.
can't
We know
call
what
it
that is.
Yeah. It's around 1939
Yeah.
probably.
Anyway,
Jesus. Anyway,
bet on the Dagestanis, all right?
yeah. Steak is the leader in global betting and U.S. social casinos. Bet on top sports and political events and use the promo code Flagrant for your welcome bonus. Now let's get back to the show.
Let me ask you a question that I don't know if you and you can shit on this if you want to. I do feel as a minority there is within the industry a certain type that there's whatever it is they're a little bit more comfortable with, and those guys get the shots first. And part of the reason I was so happy to see 85 South get the Netflix special is because I know how talented those guys are. And I remember being on Wild 'N Out, and I top to bottom, no disrespect to anybody on this couch, that's the most talented cast I've ever worked with. It's monsters everywhere. And I would go into agencies and be like, I'm on Wild 'N Out, and they'd be like, we're looking for like a Two Broke Girls kind of show.
Yeah.
And I know as an Indian, they want a certain narrative. I feel like with black people, it's a little bit like we want black people that we're not quite so scared of. You're
like-
telling stories about some shit that's like,
They want the skin color to be diverse, but not necessarily the personality and experience. And I don't know if that's like, I don't know if they're even aware of it. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if it's like...
I remember there was a pilot, and every pilot I've ever seen for an Indian is he's married to someone or in love with someone who's non-Indian or can't get someone at all. And I was like, yeah, I just don't... I had a holding deal with ABC, and I was like, I don't really want to audition for this. I was in a position where I felt like I could say that. And she was like, why? And I was like, well, I explained the reason. White exec in LA. And I don't think... She wasn't racist at all. Poor girl truly didn't understand. She goes, but he's Indian. Like that was, she couldn't understand that that's not something
you should be happy. Yeah, you got something. that is the perspective.
And there was a thing that's why it's so beautiful that we have YouTube and you got double-digit million views on one special and like you get to talk to your people and do it your way and it's awesome. But I do think within the industry there's a little bit of that, and not to discredit anything you're saying. And you probably might be experiencing both. But I think there's a little bit of that, and I'd love to know your opinion on that.
I think we just isolated just to me, because I can't speak for what they're looking for. Because some things that I have done, they have accepted from other people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that, I think because they have not made me. They didn't have their hands in putting me together.
This is a massive thing that like,
it's interesting.
I think a lot of times people won't even like to admit. It's... Taking ownership over someone's career is very important for people. Like they want to know, even back in the MTV days, like MTV2 and MTV were separate. And if you were popular on MTV2, the MTV people were like, but that's not one of ours. We want to do it. It's like, it becomes part of their identity. And when you are quote unquote made, I don't like self-made, like made by the people, like the people decide.
Made by the community.
They can't go, we put him on.
Exactly.
And I do agree with you. There is a little bit of a hesitation. Like they've invested 3 specials or 3 things in this one person. Rather that person get this opportunity than this guy who did it on his own and forced his way in. But I'm telling you, it reaches a breaking point.
Yeah. You know what?
It's tidal wave.
Feels like early Kev. Like you feel like our guy, our secret that we consume and the rest of the world knows, even though clearly the rest of the world knows about you, but it's like, it just feels like, oh, that's our guy. And it's like, we relate to everything, and I'm speaking from the black point of view. And Kev just got to a point where it's like, okay, undeniable, Hollywood had to pay attention. Yeah. And I feel like you're right there.
I don't even compare it to Kev, because I'm so out the box, like totally Indian. Like,
yeah, and I love Kev, but Kev has Dave Becky, who's like the manager.
Yeah,
I don't know about all the behind the scenes type of stuff, but I'm just being
behind the scenes. He had a machine, you know, 3 arts and Dave Becky. They had a lot going on. It's no machine.
Got it.
I'm in Houston, and I'm generating what I'm doing from Houston, from my hometown, with my bread, with my own money.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm executive
It probably
producer.
just feels like that to me, just because I remember Kev, like when passing around the DVDs, like being at the barbershop, and that's how I discovered Kevin Hart, because the DVDs were being passed around. And
I think you're right in terms of like public perception.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I think the perception early on in Kev's career is like, he had some pilot, it didn't go.
Yeah,
and then it's like, he's in the clubs. I think on the street, people aren't aware of like who your representation is.
Yeah.
It's more just like, oh, he's doing shows at Caroline's and he's grinding.
That's a normal thing for every comic has the story where they was selling their CDs and DVDs outside the club. Like, that's a normal thing. It's not isolated to one person.
Yeah.
I know I have people's DVDs that, cause I use them as, remember this shit? Ali going on with that bullshit. I'm like, I'm just saying. I bought it.
Yeah, I support it.
And it's like it's not. I'm talking about before the DVDs. You know what I'm saying? So you had, well, it was no DVDs. You had just people that had their stuff on CD. or you could just listen.
It was the audio.
You know, you just the audio.
With a shitty printed
It-
cover. I mean, it was so
the paper
ghetto,
is
bro.
paper that they just
Faded.
put. It's new and it's faded. It wasn't even like, oh, no, this just fade over time. No, this started off like this. And it's some weird ass picture of them with a microphone. Like, yo, man, where you made this at? Kinko's?
Yep.
You know, that's synonymous with the people who come up in that era. Eras are very important when you think about comedy. When you think about damn near anything. Like, I was doing an interview with Vlad, and I was talking about canned goods and
If you didn't come on this pod and went on Vlad, I'd have been so pissed. I'd have been like, are you fucking kidding me?
no, they
do numbers, as do we.
it was pulling teeth. It was another.
Wait, what?
It was another, like, I don't know, Vlad. You're not finna get me to incriminate me with some old shit. And
I saw part of it. You told a great story.
Willie D called me to do that.
Oh, really?
It took a buffer. Willie D called me and was like, hey man, listen, bro. I know.
Crack. No,
anytime Willie started something, I know.
Yeah.
And he didn't even say me what it is yet. I'm like, what's up? He's like, Vlad's in town. He want to interview. I'm like, really? And he's like, leave, man. Just do the shit. and that's.
I thought it was good, and I thought the views were crazy from it.
I got some other feedback about something else, but I ain't gonna talk about that. But Willie D is a buffer a lot of times when it comes to things.
Yeah.
Because he's very well respected, and Willie will tell people, hey man, let me call him, because you calling him,
it ain't gonna work.
It's gonna go all bad. And he'd call, hey man. I'm like, what's up, man? Because Willie knows that I'm a different can of worms, and it doesn't. I said, what? And I'd be like, what they say? I'm coming, and he know I'm coming by myself.
Yeah.
And because I'm not the crew dude, and it's something about if you got a crew of people. And a person shows up by themselves. Yeah. If I was in that crew, I would be concerned.
Yeah.
Wait.
Why is he so comfortable?
We set a bunch of foul shit, and he showed up by himself. Like, did he have a bomb on it? What is that? Like, and I'm like, yo, man, I be on some John Wick shit. It was like, yo, if you see me, I know how crazy my mind works. I was mad at these people, and they thought because they had a bunch of people that I was not gonna show up.
Yeah.
And I called my friend. I said, hey, do you have a stick of dynamite? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, yo, I just want to just walk up and just light this shit and throw this towards their ass and stick it down. I'm so motherfucking mad.
Crazy shit I've ever heard in my life.
Tunes ass crime.
Even if you didn't light it, if you just put it on the table for the interview, and you're just playing with your lighter the whole interview, I gotta look at the stick of dynamite.
Yo, because my friend tells me, hey man, you know really why we don't call you a lot of times when shit happens? Because you are a fucking grenade with the pin out.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not. You have to
Provoke you.
I have to be provoked. Because other than that, I'm just fucking happy-go-lucky. Yeah. I'm living my life.
Yeah.
And then
That's what a grenade is, though.
Yeah.
A grenade is just a baseball until somebody takes the pin out of it. Hold on. You are a grenade, actually.
Yes.
Because with the pin in, it is no different than a baseball. You throw it around to your friends, everybody's playing catch. It's great. The second the pin goes out, it's like, all right, Ali went off the fucking deep end.
Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead now.
Yeah.
But you know what's weird is this. Like, say, like Tom Segura.
Yeah, love Tom.
He wouldn't say that. Tom's like, he's fucking awesome. Like, I like when I'm around, it depends on the people that I'm around.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people be extra aggressive for no reason, and I just be like,
Towards you.
Just in the room. Like
Why? Why do you think?
Because sometimes people really have.
Is there an ego thing? It's like sometimes an
ego
insecurity thing. Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
ego thing. This is why I always hated to go do certain shows. Because I would do shows with R and
I know what you're
R and
about
them,
to say.
and it's like everybody there wants everybody to do
win.
good.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it's I'm finna go wreck this. It's just all about them. And I'm like, yo, man, this a show for every fucking body.
Yeah.
And you can be around Bruce, Don DC Curry, some more, and who else is on that show? Lavelle Crawford.
Yeah.
Happy as a clam doing the show. I'm the youngest one. I don't have but they know.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, when that motherfucker going? Because he finna go out.
Right.
But they know what it is.
Right.
But you happy. Then you get around some other people.
And there seems to
And
be
that's
like
a competitive, why are we competing?
That's, I mean, you know this already. It's like, I think there is an insecurity with folks. And like, sometimes people, the way that they present their insecurities is kind of debilitating to like building friendships and building any kind of community. Like, if somebody thinks that you're funnier than them, there are people who are confident that are like, man, I'm a huge fan of yours, dude. I fucking love that. Like, your skill doesn't make them feel bad about themselves.
Exactly.
But then there's some people who are like, I got to find a way to cut him down because I think in my head he's better than me. So I got to convince me he ain't shit. And then you feel that animosity. And I think that is the worst version of at least our industry. And I know it presents itself in other industries too.
Probably do.
But it's like, that's the worst. To be honest, like low key, I think this is something that Rogan has helped in comedy because he's so supportive. Like he so wants to shine a light on people he thinks are talented that I think it got a lot of comics who are generally kind of bitter and angry to be like, yo, maybe there's a different way that we could do this.
There's enough.
Yeah, there might be enough. Like,
Rogan's mad at me.
why would happen?
I don't know. Like,
I can't imagine.
We talked all the time.
You guys had a great episode.
We
That
had a lot of great episodes. And then it's like, I can't even get back on the show no more. He's not accepting my calls. What did I do, Rogan?
he did tell me he was taking a break from black people.
No, that was Muslim people. That was Muslim.
I reached out. I'm like,
I'm sure it's nothing. I mean, I'll holler. It can't be.
It's one of the things that people get busy. And then,
Exactly.
And I was like,
But in our heads, we build it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, Rogan's mad at me.
Nah.
And I'm like,
can't
I'm still
fathom.
around all your friends.
I can't fathom.
I'm gonna kill Tony. I'm coming to do it.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
That's gonna be fun.
That would be fun. When are you going to do Kill Tony?
Probably in August because he had some. I was supposed to do it in June or something. He had something going on, but Tony came to the club when I did the Mothership,
Yeah.
and Tony's fucking crazy.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Tony's crazy.
Tony
Wild
is
boy.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
and I like his crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Tony, he walked in and said, "Seems like your people showed up." And I was like, "But it's all white people out there, Tony." He was like, "Oh, I didn't look. I just know it was sold out." There's fucking all white people out there, Tony. He's
No,
fucking-
Tony don't give a fuck. I like it.
Tony's fucking mad.
Nah, he don't give a fuck. It's
He
great.
really doesn't.
It is great.
Yeah, it is, man.
No, it's gonna happen, man. But the interesting thing is that like, I'm curious once you see the industry support, if you'll even care. Because I think that you have the thing that matters the most, which is the people. Like, this is something I learned early from Charlemagne, and he's just the best at this. He's like, you can either be a man of the industry or a man of the people. You can't be both. And he always leaned into man of the people because the people are what's going to like
Sustain you.
sustain. It's like people. If you're a man in the industry, like you can look at all the Comedy Central comics that like they existed with Comedy Central, and then as that started to dissolve,
Comedy Central really, oh man, big shout out to Ann Harris. She did a great job doing stuff with me. I was really confused when I did the hour special. they showed it at 11:59.
It's like, who the hell is watching comedy
Yeah.
on Comedy Central at midnight on a Friday or whatever it is?
And then they never showed it again. It's like and something told me this wasn't gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
You know. So we just started putting eggs in a bunch of baskets.
Yep.
You know, I went on Bring the Funny just to gain new fans.
Yeah.
And then people couldn't even see me because for some reason these damn senior citizens that watch Bring the Funny, they was buying them tickets. Like,
really?
My demographics went from like, yo, you know, everybody out here 55 and up. And like, it's like, oh no shit. And it was crazy because that's who watched the show.
Yeah.
I think that like a lot of this stuff has taught me about how people view you as successful. So I got phone calls about Club Shay Shay.
Yeah.
Oh, we made it. It's over. Da, da. And I was like, oh, okay. But you didn't call me when I was on Good Morning America.
Exactly. Dude, the game has changed.
Yeah.
It's success is whatever they watch.
Yeah.
What is it's the term? It's like life is a Rorschach. Was it Rorschach, the ink block shit? It's like whatever you already feel, you see. You know what I mean? Like if you feel that Club Shay Shay is the biggest platform, that to you is making it not being on this like traditional institution, which is Good Morning America. But how old are you?
51.
So you're 51. I'm 41. Like we grew up watching Good Morning America and seeing Tom Cruise on fucking Good Morning America. So we're like, yo, that must be making it being on Good Morning America. To younger people, man, they're not watching Good Morning America.
How's
They
your
don't even
TikTok?
know.
It's like being on the 6 o'clock local news.
You ain't popped no balloon yet. You ain't
No, you're right.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that I felt that I feel that you have to be proud of your journey.
Yes.
You have to be proud of your journey.
bro.
No matter what happens, you know, and I'm still one of them guys who's still trying to kick over the table when it comes to you the greatest comic of all times because you were in a movie or a sitcom.
I
don't think
that got nothing to do with
Yeah.
stand-up comedy.
It has
Got
nothing to do with
it.
comedy.
Yeah.
And so people are, and my thing with, like, when I say industry support, I mean the comedy community, right?
Yeah.
Don't call my phone and ask me a bunch of questions of how to do something and get a bunch of advice from me, tell me how I'm the greatest, and then I see you in the interview.
And you don't say much?
And when you talk about all these your top five, these comments, you don't never mention me, and you're telling a joke that I fucking wrote for you, but you giving this credit to somebody else.
The amount of times I went through this shit, like
I've seen this
I'll
happen.
walk people through their whole YouTube special rollout, like do the whole thing, and then they get some interview and they'll be like, "Yeah, I did it because I saw this person do it and this person do it." I'm like, "Oh, is that why?" That's very.
No, I was getting
But
compared to you and didn't know what you had going on.
this is great.
It's
This
like, yo,
yeah.
you doing the shows. I'm like, what? I'm not doing no fucking shows. Shows had a goddamn get ready to rumble. He had a fucking industry thing. He had a whole layout of shit. I'm like, I had zero.
No, this is great. It's
You know
weird.
how many people from YouTube I had when I decided to shoot a special for YouTube?
Yeah.
That was subscribed to me.
Yeah.
28 people. I had 28 fucking people. Then I said, hey, I'm going to shoot a special. And boom.
How long ago was this?
I'd already been putting out independent stuff. I've been on XM Radio doing albums forever. I'm coming to your question.
Yeah.
Doing albums forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Since 2007.
It's just what you're normally doing.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah.
I'm just hustling my own shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I said, I'm gonna put this YouTube thing out. I shot it for YouTube, and we had 28 people. And then I went to this. My manager hooked me up with this marketing guy. He said, hey man, we gotta grow your page. And I was like, on Instagram, I probably had maybe 1,500 people.
Right.
And my Facebook, the Facebook numbers damn near the same as the YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't even get into it. That's how bad the shit was. I didn't even
You
know
didn't
how
know
to-
your password.
I didn't know how to get into it because I wasn't checking it. It was no
Yep.
movement
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So we started creating the movement
Yeah.
with the advice from them. I had no, when I heard your whole thing, it was like, he had a deal, it didn't have this, so he put it out on his own.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I said, he on some Louis C.K. shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
He's like, who? Like,
Exactly.
what you talking about?
Yeah.
So-
Dude.
And then
It's so funny, dude. Yes, exactly, though.
Damn, you was jerking.
other shit. And
But, yes, go on.
What's crazy is, he won a Grammy a couple of years ago for an album. They forget you.
Oh yeah.
It was, and I was in the same goddamn heat at the same time. I'm like, I ain't even did that.
All I did was so crack.
I ain't talking about it. So the thing is, when I actually saw your thing, and you had the guy with the smoke was coming out. The thing,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
fire and shit. I'm like,
Yeah, the Bruce Buffer shit.
I was like, and this is I told my friend, how they gonna say I'm on this shit? He got all this fucking money, he got fire and smoke and shit. But I'm on some broke shit. I was like,
that was my like fifth thing we put out. So like the first one, matter of fact, the first one was super early. The second one we did, we were in Europe, and this is how broke it was. For one of the shoots, we were in London. We used a gum to balance the camera. Do you remember that? Like, because we didn't have a tripod. We ran out of tripods. We could only travel with like 2 or 3 tripods. So we got 2 sticks of gum and we put it under one part of the camera. And in the wide shot, when people are laughing, you could see the camera shaking. And it's not because of the tripods, because the gum wouldn't give us enough suspension or some shit. So we went, I mean, it was just, but whatever. I know the journey that you were on. And I respect that majorly just because I've experienced it, man.
yeah, and when I started looking into your stuff, I'm like, oh, he's getting it like he can, getting out the mud.
Out the mud.
And even with Europe is fucking over me. It's crazy. I've been to London countless times. So now they passed this law. If you've ever been convicted of a crime,
Oh, wow.
you can't get in the country. And I'm like, so we had a tour lined up to go back to London. And I get all this, and when you come to the UK, I said, UK is kind of fucking over me. I'm like, man, this shit is 30 years ago.
Bro, this is actually
Crazy.
This is actually awesome because eventually they're just gonna like lift that, and then when you go,
Oh, yeah. it's
it
gonna
will be
nuts.
like this celebration. That's actually kind of cool. It sucks for now, but let me call up Uncle Donald real quick.
Like Eric Abrams. He always finds some good shit in
Yeah.
trash. No. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you need right here.
You starving them, and eventually when you're able to go, because they're not going to keep that shit forever. Like, I'm sorry, 30 fucking years ago, you're going to stop somebody from going over?
Can you do something nearby? Like, could you do like Ireland or France or something? And
Yeah, what about that?
I probably can, but they not asking me to come to Ireland and France.
I remember doing
they get the British people to come over.
Like,
Take a train.
London is asking me to come. Nobody from Ireland say Ireland, nothing. Ain't this shit.
And I would even say that, like, stylistically, they would be way more used to what you're doing out there. Like the long form storytelling is more similar to European and like British style stand up than American.
I've been over there downtown.
Oh, so you already know it? Yeah.
Plus, I love the Peaky Blinders. I'm trying to go.
Awesome show. Yeah. Great
Yo,
show. Yeah,
hold on, can we pee real quick and then come back? Is that cool? All right, you guys.
Yeah.
Any
I would
gotta
love,
go?
you know, I got
That's
to.
my permission.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second. Today's sponsor is Kraken, your go-to for everything investing across crypto and stocks. By the way, Kraken is really up their game, man. You know, I trust any of these platforms. What do you call the crypto exchanges that have weathered the storm? A lot of them folded. Akash famously lost tons of money because why? Because they weren't based on reality. They did not have the support that they needed. They were too frivolous, but not Kraken. Kraken has thugged it out, and they are going to the moon. That is the saying.
Yeah.
They're going to the moon because they're expanding. It's not just crypto. You can also get stocks. They also got this crack and pay thing, which is fantastic. You know, just send money to your friends, some cryptocurrency to your friends. It is incredible. 11,000 U.S. stocks and ETFs, over 350 different cryptocurrencies you can choose to invest in. So Kraken hooked each of us up with $10,000. Do we get to keep that? That'd be really awesome if we get to keep that. Let's look into that. So look, Kraken hooked each of us up with $10,000 in USDG, and now we get to build our own investment portfolios across the thousands of crypto and stocks that they have on the platform. Now, we might check out what's trending, set up a recurring buy so we can automate some of our investments. We'll see.
Send me meme coins.
Yo, because Akash is a gambler. Also, low key, like if they gave us the money, there's not much risk. So we should all
It's
be
all
investing
upside.
in Fartcoin.
Fartcoin.
100%. They gave us this real money to go head to head, build portfolios, see who's got the best instincts and strategy. Let's see who flips that 10K into something serious and who buys the top and cries by next week. Kraken also has a special offer going on for the Flagrant fam. Sign up at Kraken mobile app at kraken.com/flagrant. Use the code Flagrant25. You're going to get $20 in free Bitcoin. You would think it would be 25.
Yeah, what are we doing, Kraken?
Yeah, we should figure that out, Kraken. Kraken invests in everything all in one app. Let's get it. By the way, there's a disclaimer here. Not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine through Payward Interactive, Inc. Now let's get back to the show.
What's up, you limp dick Larrys? You see the blue lights, you know what time it is. It's time to talk about Blue Chew. It's time to step up your dick game.
Yes.
You need it. I know I need it. And it helps me. And Blue Chew is not only the OG, the one with the same active ingredients as the other guys. Not only are they the ones that have been rocking with us since day one,
Literally.
pardon the pun, they also got a new one. It's a combination of the Viagra thing and the Cialis thing, both in one lovely chew. So, why fuck around? Let me tell you something. You're not good at sex. Your man is not good at sex. You guys have not been having great sex. Why would you do this? You get your first shipment for free. All you gotta do is pay $5 for shipping. So, $5 total will get you 1 month of fantastic sex if you go to BlueChew.com and use the promo code Flagrant. I don't know why you haven't done this already. BlueChew.com, promo code Flagrant. Have the best sex you've ever had. Now let's get back to the show. Also, check the website for important safety information and all these other things that don't really matter that much if you're having great sex. But check anyway. Let's get back to the show.
We're back in. Okay, this is your second hour within 2 months or 3 months. May 15th,
Yeah, rugged.
two sons.
Yeah, my two sons.
June
is rugged.
is Rugged. Can you at least give us like a little teaser about Rugged? I know that you're probably protective of your material, but can you?
Rugged is about a man that is on the road and then he tries to come home and be handy. And this is not his skill set anymore. And no matter how...
Who is this guy?
no matter how great you think his storytelling is, this is how he gets the stories because he just fell off this ladder that he shouldn't have been on. Yeah.
Don't after 30 years try to be Mr. Fix-It in the house. You know what I mean? You Mr. Fix-It on the road.
But you got to. You got to try because it's very intimidating for some other man to come in your house and fix something. And they always like they try to do it in front of your wife.
I was just telling him, my wife asked the contractor to teach me how to make a fire. And I never felt so emasculated in my life. I was like, yo, come on. I was like, babe, that's a private conversation.
That's a Boy Scout skill.
Yeah,
That's a badge.
You understand me coming home and my garage won't go down and I'm kicking it. I'm like, babe, garage won't go down. He come out there, I said, don't worry about it. I'm gonna just call the number on the thing. So I call the man. He comes over. And I say this. I say, hey, man, you need anything? I'm going to just be right inside. Just knock on the door. I'll come right back out. I didn't even get a chance to close the door good. He was, I said, I know damn well he don't want nothing already. I'm like, well, he said, I'm finished. I said, what? He said, you going to be mad than a motherfucker. I said, what happened? And I didn't like the fact that he did it.
Is it the
It's the damn cord, the little rope. He's like, yo, you just
Unhook the rope.
He did it like 3 times just to show me how it goes. Like, yo.
He could have pretended to take longer.
Be here for an hour at least.
And he's like, no, let me tell you. This is the part. Remember I told you you're going to be mad, motherfucker? This is the part. I said, man, how much owe you? According to company policy.
Don't start with that shit. Don't start with that shit.
And it was like $170, like for company fucking policy.
What did you tell your wife though? What did you tell your girl?
I ain't say nothing to her. Yo, the door came off the hinges. Y'all not wow. He said, tearing up my house. It's like, I gotta make a whole scene. Like, God
If you want to feel like a man, and I'll tell you something even more embarrassing. Do you see how this finger kind of dips down like that? I was reaching over my car when I was 15 years old, pull the cord, fractured my finger on that exact cord. On the cord? Doing that.
But you 15.
Yeah, you're supposed to fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm 51 years old.
You don't know how to work a garage.
This is like, man, I forgot.
Right, I was like 20.
Man, it was terrible. It's so.
Bro, I didn't know how to open the garage from outside. My wife doesn't know this. For the last month, I've been parking my car, going into my house, coming around to the back door of the garage, walking into the garage, open it from the inside, and then driving the car in. And then I was in the kitchen, and there's a little bowl, and there was this little almost like remote type of thing. And I was like, babe, what is this? She's like, it's the garage door opener. She goes, how have you been opening the garage? I go, obviously I know the fucking garage. So I thought you just walk in and then open it.
No, the worst is that my girl would compare me to her dad.
Oh, don't do
Her
that.
dad was an engineer, so he just fixed everything. So our dryer breaks, and I go, let me call the guy to fix it. She goes, oh, why don't you just fix it? I go, we should just let him do it, right? And she goes, oh, it's so weird. My dad would just fix it.
Nah.
I go, well, call him.
No, man.
Nah, we're not doing this.
See, you have a girl, a wife.
No, he got a wife and
Yeah,
kid.
Oh,
yeah.
So you just calling your girl good. Good, because see, I can't call mine a lady who live in my house. She refuses to go by that. But when I say at the shows, that's what everybody comes up and says, hey, this is the lady who live in my house. It's like it's a fun thing. But
The lady who lives in my house.
A roommate, maybe.
Man, it's weird.
Yeah, it's because like you're on the road for so long, you develop a very specific set of skills, right? Yeah. And they're, thank God, appreciated by a lot of people. And we can provide and we can do these things. But because of that, we never develop the most basic skills at home. I love that. So the special is really about you spend a little home time and just being completely unequipped.
And she is.
You got to bring up prison. You be like, I was locked up when I should have learned this shit.
Yeah. And what's crazy, I was very good at useless shit in prison. Like I could start all type of shit. I could fix everything that I need to fix. I fixed my ankle. Like, she was fractured. I fixed that shit myself. But this is, man, and she's always talking shit. Like, always. So that's rugged, and rugged is fun. It's just fun. Like,
how long you been married?
Shit. 22 years.
Wow. Wow.
So, I love the way you put out material. It's always like chronological of your life. And so this new special is where you're at now. But there's one thing from the second one that I was bawling crying.
Oh,
like
yeah.
When you tell the story about your younger sister, God bless her dead. But like, boy, I've never been laughing hysterically, then bawling, crying, and then immediately right back to laughs. I've never seen a special that made me do that before.
How many times had you told that story on stage? Because you're also...
Never.
Oh,
that's what I was wondering. Because the way he's crying, dog, that's what got me, aside from the story. But like, I was like, there's no way you've run this 50 times.
I didn't run that special, period.
Wow.
Eric.
Can I be honest? That's my favorite part.
This is Domino Effect Part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Oof. So Joe, Eric, nobody knew what I was doing. I just told them how I wanted it to look. And they was like, well, you give us something. I'm like, I got it.
Wow.
And
Holy shit.
we did it. We recorded it. Wow. It was no running of that. It was no.
Did you know you were going to tell that story, or
yeah.
Okay, so you knew going into.
I knew the years. So
had you mapped it out in your?
It was no way to skip
that part.
That part.
Right.
It's not like I knew.
Crazy.
Because he had asked the question, did I know I was gonna put it out in that order?
Yeah.
So we did Domino Effect 1, and then people asked what was the rest of the story. So then I did 2. So we went from 10, you know what I'm saying, to 16. Then we went from 16 up. So we went in order of the years.
So I thought you had this whole thing mapped out, part 1 to part. So you did part 1.
We didn't have it. We mapped it out after 1, after the success of 1. Wow.
Yeah.
And people wanted to know the story, so we figured we would just do. After 2, I knew I was gonna do 3 and 4, but it was no like if I tell you, and it's like with me, I don't talk about other people's craft. That's what they doing. But when I watch somebody else try to create that moment,
yeah,
it's like you're discrediting a very honest
thing. Yeah.
Moment.
Yeah.
Because I knew without running it, I knew as soon as I got to that part, I started feeling it.
Yeah.
And my older sister is in the audience.
Oh, wow.
And this is her first time ever hearing my account of what happened, because she had went back to the Navy.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand, my little sister is like the heartbeat of me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a different, this is like the purest happiness before my kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she's tattooed on me twice. It's a thing when it comes to her, you know? So it was no way that I could
run it over and over. Yeah.
It was no way. It was like, man, get to it and not know how you was gonna come out of it.
That's what I was gonna ask.
That's
like,
brave.
You know you're gonna tell it. Are you able to stay in the moment with everything that's leading up to it, knowing
It's coming.
that this is coming?
Get here, and then you're gonna have to figure it out after you're there, because you may not be able to continue.
Yep. Wow.
So I don't know what to prepare my head to continue with.
Yep.
Because it's so, man, I think this is the most damaging thing ever in my whole life. It's like, people talk about the prison, that's whatever. But, and the reason why I'm there is because she's gone. Because this turned me into something different. Like, I became a different dude. I would stop doing whatever I was doing to make sure I went to pick her up from school.
Right.
So me picking my daughter up from school, me picking my kids up from school is a big thing, because it's still the connection
that you have with your little sister.
My little sister.
Yeah.
So it's like a punishing thing.
Yeah.
And so I still ask her for help.
Wow.
When I'm in positions, and she was only 8. And I was like, yo, man, you're gonna have to walk me through this. And that's it's punishing when you lose your happiness like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to do the set, as I'm thinking about it, I am on stage, and I'm like, damn, how and what can I actually even say
Yeah.
that's going to
Honor the moment.
turn this around. And I'm looking at my sister, right? And my sister's just
Balling.
balling in the audience.
Yeah.
And then one of my boys, street dude, he is on one. And I see him he looking off. He can't even look at his wife. He's looking off because he balling and he knows the situation. Like he was around. And it pops into my head out of nowhere. Because I was asking him, like, yo, you going to have to help me through this, shorty. And then Pops came to my head. This dude who used to sell dope for us. During that time, the only person that could make me laugh was Pops. Because I would come to the cookhouse and he would be in his Speedos cooking drugs. And I was like, yo, man, this dude is insane. He's insane, man. And Pops was fit. And he had on Speedos. I'm like, yo, man, what you got going on? Hey, man, don't worry about what the chef got on. I was like, yo, man, this is a crazy person.
Yeah.
So that helped me to remember that moment.
Yeah.
Why? And I was digging in my head, like, yo, what made you laugh at this time?
Yeah.
And it was only Pop.
And you thought of that during the taping.
During the taping.
Wow.
Because after the thing that so you're crying, it's like beautiful. Then afterward, you talk about the anger, which most people don't talk about. Most people don't think about when they think about loss. And I remember you said it with this fury. I was like, there's no way he's ever said this before because it turned me into a fucking monster. I will fucking kill you. If you say what's up to me, I'll fucking end the feeling.
What's up will get you killed.
And I was like, there's no way he said this. There's no way he's run this 100 times. It's just not possible. Yeah.
I only cry because I had regret of time that I didn't spend.
With her, yeah. Yeah.
Shit that I could have been doing, but I'm out doing other bullshit. Okay, you going to pick up from school, you spending time with her, but you could have did more that probably wouldn't have. And it's not even, it wasn't even my thought pattern at the time.
Right.
Yeah. You
But
said you didn't.
how much you love this little girl and the moments that you did. Like, I can't look at an Ashley furniture truck and not think about her.
Right.
Because I'll never forget the time we walking home and she let my hand go and start running. I'm like, what you doing?
Yeah.
She said, you gotta come on. I gotta catch this man. He got my truck. Because it said her name on the side of it. And when she dressed up like Halloween, she had on all black and she had her face painted like a cat.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what you got going on? She's like, meow, meow.
Yeah.
And it's like all of these things. And when she passed, I would sit in her room and I would hear her in the closet playing like she normally would be doing. And I know how devastating this was for my family.
Yeah.
This like crippled my mom.
Yeah.
Because this was, and then I learned why it crippled my mom. This was the first time that my mom was in a comfortable position that she could actually raise one of her children.
Wow.
So she took care of us.
But she raised
her. And so this is me understanding why this was. My mom asked me all the time, hey, was I a good mom? You know I love you, right? And it's because this is the effects of her not completing the job. She's never got a chance to comfortably raise a
one
child.
of her kids.
It was, me and my sister, she had us early. My mama had me, she's 20 years old. And my sister's 2 years older than me. So she just going through life, just taking care of us.
Yeah.
But now she's established, and for 8 years, she's raising.
She's leaning in. She's all in.
She's getting everything that she's getting to do everything that she never got a chance to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's an angle. And then for family members never to have seen her living.
Yeah.
because she lived out of town. And they was always planning to come and never got a chance to. And the first time my grandmother is seeing her grandchild in a box.
Man.
What is it you think about, and I'm reacting to your concern about, I'm sure there were some reactions that people were like, oh, is this put on for multiple shows or whatever? What is it about, you think, maybe it's even comedians, like our contemporaries, that, why do you think they felt the need to try to discredit that moment?
I really try not to make sense out of nonsense. I had no idea. Because maybe it was this is not something I could have did, or whatever the situation may have been.
I think you're onto something right now.
But I know the theory that somebody said something to me on the internet, in the rage that I responded with, speaking about my sister.
What'd they say?
It's some weird shit that I don't even really remember. I was so mad, like it was a fake thing or some shit. And I said, I just remember what I said. I promise you on everything that I'm gonna hunt you down and I'm gonna break your fucking neck backwards.
Oof.
Because you speaking, bro, you're speaking on. I remember a dude, I'm beating him in basketball in prison. And he said something about, oh, don't worry about it. I'm finna do something, whatever he said, like that bitch that's tattooed on your chest.
Does he know? Is he aware at the time?
You got a pretty good idea.
But he doesn't know the story.
He doesn't know it's my sister. He don't know nothing. And I never forget this brother named Blackshaw. The look that he gave, that he knew. When I threw the basketball and hit him in the face, and this was the first time they'd ever seen me come loose, ever. And then I had to get talked to. He said, bro, people not gonna know.
Yeah.
They just talking.
Yeah.
And that dude was severely injured. And I'm like, and every time I saw him, I only felt.
Yeah, you
right,
couldn't detach it. Yeah.
I couldn't detach
Yep.
from situation. And I know now it's people that'll troll you to try to get a response out of you to make you do. And I've probably gotten it under control now, but with that particular special, the criticism of people,
Think it was manufactured.
yeah.
I think it's I think there's a distrust a lot of times when it comes to entertainment. And it's this idea that it's like this thing that's workshopped and put on. And they're feeling these very real emotions. And they don't know how to handle those real emotions. They either have to accept that they themselves are also touched by this moment, enraged by this moment, broken by this moment, or they don't accept those feelings. And they go, this isn't real. This person's not putting it on. And I think it's an inability to accept that moment is maybe punishing them as well.
And especially if you're a comic, a peer.
Oh, yeah, where you're cynical.
Like, you're also watching.
You have to belittle everything that is like beautiful or successful.
Because I'm watching that moment, and my honest reaction, I didn't discredit
Both of them hit me up, and they're like, dude, I'm bawling. I'm bawling watching this thing. Now, what I would say about us specifically, I think it's like a cultural thing on the pod, which is like, there is a a celebration for things that are great. We try to reduce cynicism, and it's hard. But like, if there is something that is beautiful, the knee-jerk reaction shouldn't be to undercut it.
Because I was watching, like, I don't know if I could get this reaction out of an audience. I don't know if I have that level of, thank God, pain or what, rage or whatever. And I don't know if I'd have the balls to do that. And I'm watching thinking this must be the first time he's done it. So that is a reaction I had, but you got to try to fight against that party that wants to discredit it and be like, hey, I have a different purpose from God, whatever, on when I'm on that stage. But that moment, I do remember being like, and that's why I was like, you guys need to fuck. This is fuck. I've never felt this watching anything. I've never felt this. And I don't know if I could elicit that reaction. But a lot of people, instead of just accepting that and saying I have a different purpose or I'll do it differently or whatever, will be like, yeah, but he XYZ. You see what I'm saying? That's where it comes from.
And I think the people that was there, if people listen to the audience, it's people crying.
Yeah.
What was the feeling like coming off stage? Was it cathartic for you?
When I came off, I was met by my sister. I just went into my sister's arms when it was over.
I wish they had
because it was such a the camera people. Eric was like, "Yeah, I'm glad you didn't send. I'm glad you didn't do anything with this. Like, it was no way that we could have knowing going into this. This would have been very hard. And I think it was a bigger purpose for me to do it than not. I needed some relief from it. I know how many, in the fact that I'm going through losses.
And people are going through losses.
And from the losing the girl to how unprepared we are for losing anybody.
And you say a thing early in the part 2, which is like, when people talk about this game, drug dealing or whatever, they never talk about the losses. I'm going to tell you about the losses.
I'm going to tell you about what is going on in a person's life that's going through this. It's a lot of L's in this.
But what I think is like profound about these moments, and you rarely see them in stand-up, but it's like, it's not just about your loss. There are countless people who have had losses that don't always get to process their emotions in the same way. And they're processing their losses while they're watching it. The people that know you are thinking about your sister. The people that don't know you,
thinking about their people.
And like, in my last special, I have like a moment that is, it's my wife and I, it was really tough for us to get pregnant. It was like very tough. And we were able to do it. And I didn't know at the moment when I'm writing the special that people struggled with this shit. I had no fucking clue. And when we were starting to go on the road, like, and there's this montage of like my wife getting to see our daughter for the first time. And like, you go see these people in the crowd. And at first I was like, oh, that's beautiful that they're reacting to my story. And then I started to realize they're reacting to their story. They're reacting to like their trials and tribulations, the joy that they have with their kid, the struggles they've had trying to get it. And it's like, I wonder if that moment, despite some fucking cynical idiot's criticism, I wonder if that moment creates this deep connection with the people that are watching that special. Like, deep connection where people start to process those feelings that they've probably kept bottled up for a long time. And also to see a dude, you might not call yourself tough, but like a tougher dude break down like that. Imagine what that gives you. Imagine as a consumer, imagine what that gives you, the freedom to, all right, maybe I'm allowed to process this shit and feel this shit a little bit.
You know, I didn't speak about like her funeral because my dad, right? My mom, my dad been separated for a long time. And inside the funeral, all these people in there. But when I walk out, my dad is like in the corner of the parking lot, black leather coat, and he's standing there, and he's just crying.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with this, but he, for some reason, he wanted to be there for we talking about somebody who's not there for most shit.
Yeah.
And he just like, and I never forget looking
Was
at
it
him.
his daughter or was
No,
it?
it wasn't.
Okay.
He's totally out of the picture. He was like,
Yeah.
but he was standing there like,
Yeah.
like this shit tough, bro. And he's always been my mom is tough as rusty nails. My dad has always been the
Unflappable.
like,
Yeah.
I'm just here. I'm know what a moment is, and if you need me, I'm here. My mom is trying to keep it together, but it's like my mom's falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I never, until I realized why it's like this. And to this day, it pains her.
Yeah.
Like my pain is one thing, but you talk to my mom. Nah, this shit is bad. You talk to my mom.
Did she watch it, the special?
I never told her it happened. Never told her it happened. This is the one thing that I never told her that I did.
And you don't
My
think?
sister may have told her, and I don't even think she did. I don't even like leading her down the road, so I never even mentioned domino effect to her.
Wow.
Never even mentioned it.
I was wondering because you have people in your life. You have your older sister talking, and I was like,
my older sister spoke.
Yeah.
My boy Herb spoke. My boy Ant spoke, and I never even mentioned it to my mom.
Wow.
It's one of the things like it's back to like if I was selling dope. I'm not.
I don't need to tell you these stories.
She would have to call me and say, "Hey, I saw the special, but I'm not bringing it up."
Because you don't want her to have to live through that pain.
I don't want to have to live through nothing. Yeah. Don't you hate that?
I hate that.
I was eating something and a ketchup fell on my shirt. I was like,
The whole day.
I just felt like I wanted to burn. I was having a good moment. You know, like,
Fuck.
You gotta go home. Just go home. You get mad at the restaurant? Like, why the fuck you put all this ketchup on it?
because once you spill something on your shirt, you just look fat.
It's over.
I don't give a damn what size you are. You just like, yo, this is fat bastard feeling sauces on his damn self.
I try to hide it in my armpit.
Man, what a gift. You were talking about some real painful shit and then right into the funny and you're just living in the moment. That's cool to see, man.
Because when he did it, I was like,
You fell for me.
I fell for you.
He
I was
understands
like,
the pain. He understands the pain.
Talking about your dead sister and having empathy for his pain is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Like, fuck your sweater.
I feel like the ketchup is there again. It's not.
It was coffee too. I was hoping it was just some of the moisture on the
I'm talking about hoes like this is water. It's not like nothing like that. Goddamn coffee. Like, but as a comic, I think that's the craft.
Yeah.
Not the job, that's the craft. If you look at this as a job, I wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't show up to this shit as a job. Like, as soon as I start feeling like it's a job, I take off. Like, I'm getting ready to go to Greece just so I can wear some Speedos and think I'm sexy. All them fat bastards over there just wearing Speedos. And I'm going to do it too. So it's just the experience, man. As a stand-up, I said a stand-up one time. This old dude said, "No, you'll fucking sit down. You don't do shit but sit down and talk." I'm like you right. But I think that's the part that you have to be brave. Everything that we say when you actually in the craft is brave. you speaking about you and your wife trying to conceive.
Yeah.
When she first got a chance to see it, she was in the NICU.
It was a C-section, so there's this big curtain up, so you don't actually get to see the baby pulled out of you, and you're numb.
Oh yes.
So the baby gets. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, was it
No, it wasn't preemie. It was to term. Yeah.
As soon as you said it, it took me to the moment to where I didn't get a chance to really connect with Hanan because she was in the NICU for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And they just put her like in this incubator. She just flapping around. And you got to put on all this stuff to go see him, and it's no real connection. And I couldn't wait to be able to
just hold him. Yeah.
Hanan and Hanan is like the manager of all the kids. Like, even though she young, she's 9, but she's the man. Hanan is who I talk to about finances. Hanan knows where all my money is. She gonna have to be the one divvying them. No.
Dig up the begonias.
Yeah, Hanan, man, that's my girl, and she reminds me of my sister so much. This is who I talk to. So now, imagine this. Imagine having a fear of losing your kid. Like, I'm not really comfortable until they pass 8.
Dude.
Wow.
I was going to ask.
8, and it's like I have this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, until they pass 8, it's like I'm on pins and needles.
You're holding your breath. You're holding your breath.
Like, please don't let nothing happen to them, like any of them. And I remember Jada. Jada is a chef. She's a wonderful chef. I was so scared,
bro. I remember this whole tumultuous journey to get to this moment, and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong up to this moment. And we're in there, and my wife's not dilating, and she's all up on the Pitocin and all these things that they get, and she's still not dilating. And there's a moment where the baby's heart rate dropped on the monitor. And keep in mind, like, I have not the same level of concern, but you're still like, something's going to go wrong because everything has gone wrong on this process. Yeah. Every single thing is going wrong. And I start to see this monitor drop, and then comes back up, and the monitor drop, and then the monitor's dropping, and it's beeping for a while. And I'm like running in the hallway looking for a nurse, because in my head, I'm like, it can't go right. I haven't felt anything go right. So why would anything go right? And you think, like, once you see the baby, that everything's going to be okay, but the fear doesn't go away. They're like, okay, we need a test to make sure that she can see and hear. They do that. And you're like, okay, now is the moment. And I literally felt, maybe until she was like walking and running, that was the first time I felt like I could take a deep breath.
Yeah.
So I can't even imagine what that's like for 8 years, just looking at each one of your kids and just going, please, like, when can I relax? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get grown, and you hope you don't get a call.
Oh, dude.
Something. Like, Jaden's 26, and I'm concerned about her every day.
So it just doesn't go away. We're just stressed until
I've heard the fear doesn't go away. The fears just change.
I don't even know if it changes or it goes away. You just pray all the time that just you can manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And nothing, and that you don't have to manage something. I'm gonna manage this fear, so I don't, in hopes that I don't have to manage grief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have a choice. It's one or the other. Yeah.
You have a choice. And then the days that you miss, or y'all argue or something that you miss with them, you like, yo, man, this time is precious, and I'd rather fix it than to keep fussing. Like, how do we fix it? Or you just want to fuss?
Do you think that you've invested, I don't want to say more time, but do you think because of that horrible circumstance you've experienced that you have valued time with your kids in a different way?
Yes.
And
Not just kids, people.
just, yeah, it's like, it's put time in perspective, and like, in a weird way, I mean, what a thing to give to you. Like, I'm not saying that there's no way to be grateful for that at all. I'm not saying that that's perspective, but like,
it's a way to be grateful
it's
because
like-
you start to understand how valuable
every
time
fucking day is, yeah. And,
like in this. Me and you develop a friendship. You call me. If I miss something that I said I'm gonna come to, it's gonna bother me. Like me and David Banner, right? Me and David Banner have developed
legend.
a friendship.
Yeah.
If I don't, he called me. If I miss his call, I call him back.
Yeah.
And say if you call me, hey Lee, come do this show. I'ma come. No matter the circumstances, because Patrice O'Neal called me a pussy one time. Only person ever living does not we not living.
Yeah, you know, he's the GOAT to me. He's the greatest of all time.
Call me a pussy.
Tell me this. What happened?
So Patrice comes to Houston. We do a show together. Patrice like, yo, you fucking dope, man. Your storytelling is crazy.
I mean, this is like the biggest compliment.
Yeah, and-
Patrice is my number one.
Yeah. So the next year he comes to Houston. He calls me like, yo, you gonna come do the show with me? And I said, yeah, cool. But an ice storm happens in Houston.
Okay.
Oh, city. Texas shuts down.
But
for
y'all are afraid of
bad
snow
weather.
and shit in
No,
Texas.
we're not afraid.
We get
We're not
ice.
afraid of snow. We're scared of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snow is fine. Ice, we have all these freeways and these OPADs. You
Yeah.
can't see this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It is 290 wrecks on the freeway and on the streets.
Right.
Like people just slide into it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So when he gets there and he's like, yo, you coming? I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
I say, it's a lot of wrecks here. It's a lot of black ice. I'm not fucking with it.
Yeah.
I can drive, but there's other people that can't. I'm not fucking with it. He's like, come on, pussy. You know, Patrice, I don't give a fuck what you say.
That in the Northeast, that is some pussy shit. The idea that we wouldn't go somewhere because of ice.
You're not finna
No, but
mind trick me
y'all get snow.
into
dying.
dying on the fucking highway. You don't know where I gotta come from. I'm not fucking coming. And he's like, yo, you not coming for real? I'm not fucking coming. Okay, Patrice, do I have to hang up on you to let you know that I'm not fucking coming? And he was like, that's some bullshit, Lee. I'm like, I don't give a. Okay, it's an expedition sliding down the fucking street right now. I'm not fucking joining this shit. You be at the comedy club on your own. And it was light that night.
Yeah, I'm thinking people don't show up.
Nobody's showing up. Yeah.
Nobody's showing up.
Yeah.
Just you go. They might as well cancel this shit. You might well be at the club by your fucking self because
Yeah.
nobody. The people who can walk to that club will be there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It is not fucking happening, Patrice.
Honestly, walking, you probably bust your ass. I've fallen a few times on
We're
ice.
not fucking with ice.
Yeah.
And we don't have salt trucks.
And that's the whole other thing he didn't understand.
This is a Northeast thing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have damn, so we got them now.
We have sand trucks in Dallas. It's like, who the fuck one needs sand?
Yeah.
Just salt the roads.
Melt this shit.
It was terrible. So he called and I was leaving town the next day. Months go by. He's gone. And the first thing came to my mind is, fuck, I should have went to hang out with my friend, at least. And so when Earthquake called me to come to his birthday party, I got up, flew out there. This is my friend, with my friends in this business, and that's hard to get in this business. True friends that outside of this ain't the comedy. Like I have some really good ones, and if I'm not gonna miss that time with them, I'm just not gonna be able to do it because I don't know the next time I'm a seed. And so that has been, if I think about you, I'm gonna call. I'm not gonna waste the time to call, especially if you constant with mine. I said, let me call now. And the people who I hadn't called have left this place. And then that's one of the things, one of my greatest, well, another regret, David Arnold. I'm on vacation and David Arnold hit me, DM me and said, hey, I thought I had your number. Here's my number. Call me when you get a chance. I said, man, I'll call him when I get back in the country. I'm in Mexico, having a good time. Call him when I get back in the country.
So if you don't call someone back, they die. I ain't never calling you, bro. I can't risk it. Lee, I can't risk it, my boy. I can't risk it. I'll be staring at my phone. I saw you read it, Lee.
I'm gonna call you right back. Like, look, hey, Greece. I'm in Greece.
You sent me the Speedo picture. Everything's good.
That's fucked up. Like, man, but those are the moments that you think about this shit. You like, because David Arnold had never reached out to me out of nowhere. It's like, yo, man, I just talked to you about something. I thought I had your number. And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, why the fuck I just didn't call him back? Because I was in Mexico having a good time. And I said, well, he'll be around, you know. I call him when I get back. No, so I call people immediately. Like, soon as something happens, what? This shit ain't gotta be important. What is it, Rodney Perry? It's just, I gotta call now. If I miss, man, I don't hesitate to call Sidney Castillo or Malik S. Or, it's not even especially DL, but DL's older.
Yeah.
So, man, this is like my guy.
Yeah.
You know, this is the dude. Like, even when I've did some shit that I'm talking about so not in agreement with.
Yeah.
He's called and said, okay, you fucked up. Let's see how we can fix it. And I'm like, is it that bad? He's like, yes, it's fucking awful. What you did?
What happened?
I'm not rehashing that shit. like DL called me. He's like, yo, this is awful. Oh my goodness. They're gonna make you apologize. I'm like, what? He's like, listen, I'm gonna walk you through this shit. But when they ask me about it, I'm gonna say, hey, that's still my guy. And I'm like, yo, is it that bad? He was like, it's fucking. Call me tomorrow. Damn. And then I called him. He was like,
him. Good for him for standing by you though.
Cause I fucking stood by him with the goddamn shit he said. And
What did he say?
I'm not rehashing his shit either.
My bad.
Just said Tupac was a dancer. What's so bad?
They banned your ass now. Like,
He was.
some shit that was just on his video. It's on his video. Shit is stupid, man. People get mad about shit that they see him doing. He can pull this shit up. When they get around with the underground. Like,
He was a backup dancer for
Digital Underground.
For Digital Underground, yeah.
for sure. Even with the whole other thing is this. I liked Brenda Had a Baby album.
Yeah.
He wasn't that on there.
Yeah. Also, people got different expectations for thugging. Like, if you've actually been in the game, I'm sure it's a little different than, like, someone like me who hasn't been in the game.
I didn't go to Juilliard.
Yeah.
Fucking Juilliard.
How many super thugs came out of Juilliard, though? That is a great point.
Make Make the connection.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's a lot of.
It's
fucking
like when
cellist killing people. I bet. You know what I mean? You heard about the guy with the mandolin who was a drug kingpin? And
Yo, you know what's crazy? I
Wisconsin?
think Jada Kiss one of the coldest rappers of all time.
Facts.
yeah,
But when his daddy was sitting on that stage, he
That
was
shit-
like,
he went to private school.
Went to private school.
That shit was so
And I
funny.
was like, get your ass off my list, Jada.
Jada, we love you, Jada.
I fucking love you.
We
but
love you, Jada.
fucking killed me with that one. Your dad was like, man,
I love his dad keeping it real though. That
I
was
was
so
coffee
fire.
company.
I
Fuck
would've
is
done
you
the
talking
same
about?
shit.
You went to private school. You had a Chevy in the house. And Jada was like this. God damn.
I love Jada, bro.
But Jada's still fucking dope and
He's
shit.
the
It's
best.
like, it's like I just heard a new.
Him and Fat Joe is so funny. Have y'all seen clips from their pod?
Nah.
That shit kills me, bro.
Yeah.
Fat Joe just says the wildest shit and Jada.
The wildest shit. Just,
Fat Joe is like, I'm a glizzy gobbler or something, and Jada just goes, whoa, he hit pause on his own podcast.
yo, him and Cameron Mace be fucking killing
Bro,
me.
oh my
Mace
God,
just
dude.
sits
Bro,
there,
because he's so poised. We not your little homies. we don't got big homies.
But on the real, Jay Prince ain't really.
Bro,
yeah,
we gotta
I-
talk about
yeah.
Jay, man.
I've been wanting to ask you about this.
Can you explain to people maybe from New York like what Jay is to Houston?
Shit. Jay Prince is the mogul. Like we watched him come up. You know, he's one of the first independent rap labels. That's why our city is so independent. We've never been looking for deals due to the prototype of what Jay and other guys cultivated. So when you, I don't even know what he is just to Houston, but just to the whole hip hop industry. He was really different from Puffy and Suge and everybody else because he was the format. He was the formula when there was no formula.
It's like, how else can we get on? How else can we create music and be part of this industry, which seems to have a lot of gatekeeping? And he was like, well, we'll just create our own version of it, which is why Houston has this flourishing hip hop scene that's not reliant on any major record label. There's all these independent hip hop musicians in Houston, and it's influenced music in general without this like label push.
I'm gonna say this with gusto. Our artists laugh at other artists because in our mind, you're not living better than us. You're not making more money than us.
Because you're getting 80% of your album sales in Houston.
Getting
Yeah.
man, roll. This is all the people who I know that own multiple Rolls Royces.
Yo, it's so funny. Keep going. I think it is important that people understand this.
It's
though.
like-
yeah. So like Slim Slim was like
Cam.
building up neighborhoods. Do you remember this? Like he was riding around like a neighborhood that he built, not just like he owned a condo, the neighborhood.
So we do this all the time. So but people when Mike Epps built some houses, they was like, oh, yeah. We was like, that's old.
yeah.
Like, 'cause we've
But
done
no,
it.
shout out to Epps, that is
Yeah,
cool
that's
that he
very
bought
cool.
back the
And
house.
and that's cool.
Yeah.
But we've been doing it.
Right. And I think because you're doing it on your own, it's like it doesn't permeate industry standard. And I think it's because industry doesn't want people to know that it can be done on its own.
Man,
why would they promote it?
Just look at, man, I don't know a broke rapper Sauce, Slim, Paul Wall, Chameleonaire, Roe, Killer Callion, Brad, which is Face, Willie D,
Yeah.
Beat King before he passed, Megan the industry though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Travis Scott,
Yeah.
yo,
Mexican OT, he's from out there, right?
Nah,
From a little
OT's
bit
from-
Bay City.
Yeah.
Bay City, but it's right
close
outside.
enough.
That's right
Yeah.
outside of Houston. Really, we can walk there. It's like it's so man.
It's its own industry.
It's his man.
So Jay Prince, you think is the battery behind?
Watts, man, it's just so many. I remember pulling up to a function, and it was just a line of Rolls Royces. That's a line, little old. It's just a line of Rolls Royces, right? None of this shit is rented. All this shit is owned and paid for. And I was just backing mine in, like,
And is this an example of how like the record labels are extracting the majority of money from the artists?
Yes.
Like when you go to Houston, you see the artists that are owning large percentages of their catalog. They're making.
Man, Fat Pat, Hawk before he passed, Waltz Ness, man, bruh, K Reno. I can name multiple rappers who just good. Like, they like, man, we good.
Right. Like, it is a profession there where it feels like outside of, and it's not just Houston. I think that, like, there are other areas that has popped up as well, but it does seem like there's the most wealth that has been concentrated in that, like, area of independent artists, at least. But, okay, so here's a question. Drake has had this, like, perceived connectivity to Houston. And I think it's because of...
That's because of Jazz.
Because of Jazz is his son, right?
Jay Prince's son.
Yeah. And he seems to really like lean into Houston and have this, it seems genuine. Again, I'm an outsider. I don't know. This appreciation of Houston. Is that a business deal or is that like a real connection and affinity to those artists? Like, does Houston really embrace and welcome Drake in that way? And you don't have to give me like a fucking hot take or this is
I don't know.
I'm just trying to ask from outside perspective.
I don't know what his real relationship is because I'm not a part of it. I know what my real relationship is with them.
And
Like, we generally happy to see each other all
Succeed.
the time. No, just like just see each other. Like,
so
Kiki,
it's like real friendship.
Like Kiki, I was walking through Galleria. Kiki was trying to go find some little Kiki, and when we saw each other, my son was right there. He's like, "Yo, man, you just hugged." Oh, but I said, "That's Kiki." He's like, "Oh shit, I didn't even realize that." But he know him too. But it's like we have a genuine love for each other's success. I don't know what some outside artist situation is. You know, I know who I see, and I'm not talking about, oh, I came there for a weekend and did some shit. I'm talking about, I know who I see on a consistent basis. You know, like it's like when I said about me and Willie D. This is a. We don't have to be talking about no business shit. This is
You guys just chopping up as friends.
When I see Face, last time I saw Face was at this spot called Davenport's. I just stopped through, and he was coming out. He was like, "Man, it's packed as hell in there, man. What you about to do?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not going in there now since you told me that it was packed."
Yeah.
And then we went. I think we walked to a food truck or something. like it's the. You know, I was genuinely hurt when B King passed. You know, like when, man, we like Ro. Me and Ro, our relationship is different. You know,
Ro?
Yeah, Zero.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You, if you listening, you would know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Zero been on a lot of shit.
Okay.
You get your pass.
Thank you. White privilege.
You know, so a lot of our artists, man, they just in their own bubble a lot of times when it comes to outside industry. So with Drake thing, I know that he was getting embraced because of affiliation.
Right.
Not earned. Not earned. You know, nothing really earned. So, but you can go to any other city and do that same thing by affiliation.
Right.
But you got people like Luda that they actually have a real affection with.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying?
Even though Luda's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
But
It's
he's just embraced and loved in Houston.
Yeah, he's embraced because he put time in there, you know, with certain artists. Everybody, when you get embraced, you gotta be like. I'm gonna tell you who embraced JJ Faye. Not Jazzy Faye. Jazzy Faye. People fucking love Jazzy Faye. You know what I'm saying? That's a real thing.
Right.
With our R&B artists, you know, we have a lot of different genres of music. Most people don't even know Travis Scott from Houston.
I think that he's reached such superstardom that he's just known as like American musician. But you guys are like, nah, this is Houston.
Because we get discredited for the artists that we do put out.
That's interesting. The second they leave, it's like, we know that Beyonce is from Houston, but I don't know if she's thought of as Houston.
But that's crazy because she's definitely
Yeah.
Represents.
so Houston.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Like she's so Houston.
You
like,
lose your identity as being from Houston, the more popular you get, even if you don't want that. Like the rest of the world takes you on.
ask you a question. Is Jay-Z embraced in New York like that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, this is...
Is it of course, or is it just by industry people, or people just...
No.
Like,
I would even go so far as
He's loved.
I don't even know if Jay's embraced outside of New York. I would say that's kind of a hot take, but like where we put him, like I don't know if
They
Jay-Z,
pretend he had no idea about Diddy. It's like really crazy.
They're
like, there's no way he knew, and it's like, well, that's weird.
No, like
He
like in our minds, he's a stadium act in all countries around the world. I don't know if he is that, but in our minds, he is. Is that fair statement?
I'm talking about away from the act. I'm talking about beloved.
Oh,
by,
he is.
It's unbelievable.
It's yeah.
Good in any hood. He can walk
He's-
around. He's
yeah.
yeah.
Like for us, like
walk around. No, I don't think y'all really understand what I'm talking about.
oh, what are you
I'm
talking?
talking about Muhammad Ali embraced with no fucking security, with no none of that shit. You just outside.
Yeah.
Like I'm outside.
He doesn't do that.
But he
because-
could.
But he can.
I think he's got that much
in
love.
New York. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And
As an outsider, the way they love him is like, it's.
I think for us, it's like
I'm a Texas kid.
Jay-Z is like, so there's two different things. It's like, and again, I'm curious your perspective too, but it's like, who do I want to hang out and kick it with as far as like New York goes, rappers goes? It's like 50. I want to just, if I'm going to party, if I'm going to hang out and watch it, I just want, 50 is just going to make everything hilarious and he's going to say wild jokes and it's going to be, he's the GOAT, right? And then there's Jay-Z who is like, oh, this is the businessman tycoon. So I think that there's a lot of inspiration, which is almost like unfair for 50 in terms of like what he's achieved in his career as well. Like, but I think you look at these two people and despite obviously some, rough stuff that's gone on in hip hop, or at least in like gang life, 50 Cent could go wherever the fuck he wants. Jay-Z could go wherever the fuck he wants. And they're just Mount Rushmore in New York City. There's two, there's not four, there's two.
And which is crazy because
Biggie, rest in peace. I'm talking about alive.
Y'all have put those two rappers on a Mount Rushmore and forget about all the rest of them. Nobody is above Rakim. Not neither one
You're
of them.
talking about a generational thing right now, and I think that like older heads will look at a Rakim and they'll be like, this is, the greatest rapper we've produced. I think the younger people they're not as familiar with a Rakim.
And also another thing with
God
New
MC.
York. Yeah, something that's different from New York compared to Houston, it sounds like we have the crabs in the barrel mentality. Like it could only be one, you choose your guy, and now you got to go hard for your guy instead of just embracing everybody and loving everybody.
Y'all,
and they even
y'all
beef
disrespect Heavy D, and I'll be like, yo, y'all losing y'all goddamn mind.
But again, this is like dumb generational shit where it's like, I think that does
Same
exist.
Bill Russell type shit.
This competitive nature,
Same Bill Russell.
Same Bill Russell type shit.
we need to
Heavy
choose.
D,
We need to
didn't
choose
see
between
it,
Nas.
so we don't appreciate it.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
Nas is gonna get
But
disrespected by the young
The whole
generation.
thing is, just because you didn't see it doesn't mean that it didn't set the foundation for what you're doing now.
Truth.
Yeah,
But they don't know.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
It's
You're
kids.
absolutely right.
You know why they don't know? Because y'all are not teaching them.
No.
Y'all just going with the frame.
Charlamagne says this exact same shit. He's like, we're not celebrating the people who have laid the foundation. We're not celebrating the OGs enough. There's this like immediate reaction to like what is hot and new now instead of embracing the legends.
Music in particular is so youth driven.
Whereas it does feel like in Houston, there's still an embracing of the legends. But I also think they keep putting out music. It's like these guys, they're not taking time
also,
off.
the
DJ Screw
OGs would
been
beef with
dead
each
for a
other.
long time. They gonna say Screw in every song.
Yeah, Pimp C.
Because it's in Pimp and Bun. I didn't even mention Bun. Bun's on a whole
PAT,
other level.
Yeah.
But it's just, man.
But
you
it's a
got to
cultural
embrace-
mentality thing because over there, you guys all get along. Like our major artists used to beef with each other. So how you gonna root for the guy who's beefing with my guy?
We've beefed with each other before too. We just never let y'all in on the beef.
Oh, that's family business.
That's true.
Yeah, that's some southern shit too.
business.
Yeah, that's some southern.
There's
We-
also
we would
another
have
thing-
Jay-Z and Nas, and that's the talk of the town.
Y'all put the-
You gotta
can't-
get out of here. You gotta flight. But I don't want you to miss. But like, there is one little thing that I would also say is that there are so many people that move into New York, and a lot of New Yorkers that grow up here end up moving out. So there is this kind of like refresh of New Yorkers every 20 years. So a lot of these new people that moved in from all these other places, they don't remember going to the tunnel and seeing these artists.
Yeah.
Right? So they just have no connectivity to it. The OGs that are like staying here tell the stories about it, but then the young people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't lived that way. Yeah. So because of that kind of like
Yeah, it's
recycled
true. Every friend I
nature,
have from Houston moved back. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Every friend moved back.
I do think that plays a little bit.
Why wouldn't you come home? Why wouldn't you come home?
I'm never going back to Dallas to live. It's sad.
I wouldn't go
Giant
back to
fucking
Dallas
strip mall.
either.
I fucked with Houston. Yeah.
Dallas City
You
was
gotta
awesome.
play.
Yeah.
You gotta play. Listen,
Yo.
Ali Siddiq, go check out Rugged. Go check out. I think you gotta check out parts 1 through 4.
Yeah,
Domino
watch
Effect.
everything.
Just watch it all through. Go
Yeah.
check. There's tons. It's gonna be in your algorithm, and you're gonna enjoy it. We wish you much success, my man, and I
So,
definitely see it in the future.
When we doing the tour together?
That's
See,
what-
I'm just-
now we gotta talk. Now we're talking. This is a fantastic idea.
Independence.
Independence forever until they drop 100 mil in our bags, and then we're like, oh, we might be a little dependent.
Codependent.
Ali Siddiq, everybody.